Good afternoon / evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday, March the 7th. I was like, am I hearing myself? Thursday, March the 7th, 2019. It's another day. It's another Technical Alpha podcast with a twist. We're here doing a test run on YouTube Live just to see what kind of engagement we get over here doing our show instead of splitting the community up into a couple of different places.
Doesn't make sense to really do it on Twitch, but
No.
to be perfectly honest with you.
Especially since this just saves us having to do a bunch of extra post and uploading and everything else. So
Like the only bonus to Twitch is having the subscriptions, like the subscribers.
Yeah, exactly.
But if we ultimately decide to move it over to YouTube, then that's really the only thing we lose out on.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm sure if those people want to, they can support the Patreon, which we'll get more money from anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Patreon takes a much smaller cut than what Twitch does.
Yes.
But either, hey, I'm actually proud of Adam, too. Because I threw it on him. I said, let's go on YouTube. And you're like, yeah. I was like, tonight. And he gave me that look like, okay. And then here we are
Just
about
made it happen.
40 mininutes later.
Yeah.
Boom,
it happened.
we're here.
Yeah. Just made the magic happen.
Hey, why not?
On the fly.
Good news.
Yes.
We're almost at our peak viewers, what we
Let's
normally
go.
get on Twitch.
Let's go. We made it happen. We have almost 2 hours, maybe even a little bit more, depending on how this usually goes, to even get that number up higher.
I believe.
Mr. Maximus Black.
Yeah.
How was your week?
You know what?
Because this was the second full week.
Yeah.
We can almost time your child's
actually,
life
you can.
based on podcast
Based on
because he came the Friday following the podcast.
Yeah, so at 11 a.m. the next morning. So basically Thursday,
Yes.
we went into the hospital this time.
Exactly.
Literally, we were driving in the car to the hospital this time.
Yes.
What was it, a week ago or 2 weeks now?
2 weeks now.
Holy shit, man.
Time flies when you have no sleep.
You know what? I do have sleep.
Oh,
and,
good.
Kai has been sleeping throughout the night. Now, when I say throughout the night, Kayla has to wake him up every 2.5 to 3 hours to feed him.
Okay.
If not, he'd sleep longer. But the doctors are like, you have to feed him like he's got to grow. Good news, we just had a checkup on him a couple days ago. When babies are born, their birth weight, they lose a bunch of weight because of
Yeah, it tends to happen.
because they have so much water and liquids in them.
Yeah.
And then when they come out, you know, they're not as full. It's almost like a UFC fighter, like draining himself, like
Getting ready to he's cutting for the
cutting
fight.
weight. Yeah, but good news is Kai is over his birth weight now. He's pushing 9 pounds. So he's getting heavy.
I was talking to Kayla about that when I got here today. She was like, "Yeah, he's already up to
8 pounds 12 ounces,
something
I think.
like that."
Yeah.
I can't, but he's pushing 9.
He's pushing 9, and
Yeah.
the doctor said, you don't have to, the doctor said you don't have to wake him up for every 3 hours now. So don't worry about 2.5. So if he sleeps 3 hours, I sleep in a separate room. Kayla's in the guest room with the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically the baby is sleeping in a bassinet beside the bed. So she can kind of keep an eye on him, and then when he wakes up, she can grab him, feed him. He falls right back to sleep on the titty, and then goes right back on the bassinet for like 2.5, 3 hours.
I fall asleep on the titty too.
Hey, sometimes you gotta fall asleep on a titty.
It happens.
I haven't fell asleep on a titty in a long time. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. You know that thing called No Nut November?
It's been No Nut 2018.
It has been no nut. I don't think I've nutted in, what day is it today?
It's the 7th.
It's the 7th. 3 days before we went into the hospital.
Damn.
That's the last time I ejaculated,
You
son.
you saving up
no
for something?
fap, nothing.
You saving up for something?
You know what?
Like you got like a celebratory fap session coming up or something? Like what are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for my wife to be better.
Okay.
Like obviously, I'm and you know what? I haven't even really been. I have my moments, but I haven't even. It's weird now. The kid's here, and I'm so busy. I really don't even have a whole lot of time to think about it until I'm thinking about it. Now when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, shit. I need to nut pretty soon.
You need
man.
to get that out of the system.
I need to just nut soon. So I'm
healthy.
I'm just gonna keep going until it happens, man.
It's gonna be like that scary movie scene.
Yes. This is the longest I've gone without nutting since I was like 15.
Damn.
I'm literally. No, I'm not joking.
I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me.
So, but anyway, my week has been. Listen, it's been a better week because my boy's here, and it's just like a good feeling. Like,
of course,
just having your son. He looks so much like me, and he's a good baby, and he's easy to
hold
take
on
care
to
of.
that because when he grows up, he might not look like you anymore.
Hey, well, you know what it is. What it is.
Could turn into somebody else.
Could turn into somebody else. But
the milkman.
The milkman. But the only shitty part is we've been down to the hospital a lot because Kayla, she got a C-section, that jailhouse C-section.
Yeah, the incision
got a little
weird.
affected, or like the skin got infected around it, so she was on antibiotics. Then we had to go in there 3 out of 4 days, and the fucking hospitals, you're waiting down there for hours and hours and hours. So it's taken up a lot of time. I haven't been able.
Especially this time of year,
yeah.
like the hospitals are just obviously
it's just
overworked.
bonkers. And then,
yeah.
of course, this all happens while we're having the most snow that we've had in like 2 years. So it's just been one of those. I haven't been able to get as much work as I want in, but I'm still making it swing. I'm just tired because I'm fucking going all the time.
Well, of course.
But in terms of sleep, I'm getting anywhere from 6 to 7 hours a night.
Oh,
Shit,
well,
you
then
not.
you're doing
it's not
better.
solid 6-7 hours.
No,
it's like
it's
I'll wake
broken.
up. Yeah, I'll wake up for a half hour, 45 minutes. Gonna hear the
Yeah.
baby crying, or I go in, help mom out for a little bit. She goes to the bathroom, does what she needs to do,
Go back
and then
to
I go
bed.
right back to sleep. So
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm getting a solid 5 hours. Then another hour, 2 hours is like airplane type sleep.
Yeah.
But I can't complain, man. I've known parents that are up fucking every 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Every
and
3
they're
minutes,
just like, I want to
45
kill
minutes.
myself.
Yeah.
Like that's so it's that part's been good.
So it happened. Another week.
Yeah.
You survived.
Barely, but
And
I'm
next
here.
week, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. How was your week?
My week was just another week. Really, I didn't do anything particularly crazy. After the podcast on Fridays and stuff, for the foreseeable future anyway, for like the next, probably I would say, the next month and a half or so anyway, maybe even a little bit more. Brian and I get together. We're doing the Shitty Games Done Slow 2019, which drags out a little longer because he's working now, so we can't do it like
Get it in when you can get it in.
Yeah, so now it's like only on the weekends because he's like in Liverpool
Oh,
doing his work.
little journey.
Little journey. So he's literally staying there for like the week while he's working, and then he gets back, and then we do Shitty Games Done Slow. We're just at the end of what we call the pre-show, where we play the good game before we play the shitty games.
What's the shitty game you're gonna play?
One of the community members, Hunter, actually just shelled out the money outright for us to play a game that wasn't originally on the list. It's called Rogue Warrior. It's one of the shittiest games ever made.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Giant Bomb did a quick look of it years ago, and I remembered the name of it, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it until I looked it up and confirmed that, yes, indeed, it is the game that I thought it was. Pretty much 50% of the script is just saying fuck.
Okay.
So that gives you an idea of where we're at. And it's like a stealth action kind of game. That'll take us about probably a day and a half. And then it's Two Worlds is the official shitty game for 2019.
All right.
And it is a shitty game. And if they want to stretch goal it for Two Worlds 2, which is an even shittier game, then we'll see how we do when we get there. But for now, that's what's lined up. So I did that, and then I started playing Mass Effect this week because I'm going to do like a little bit of a retrospective, going back and playing all the Mass Effect games, 1, 2, and 3. And then by the end of it, if I feel like it, I'll play Andromeda because I haven't played Andromeda yet. And I guess now that the game's been out for a while and it's gotten pretty much all the work that will ever happen to it, this is as good as Andromeda is ever going to get. So we'll see how it goes. But I've been really enjoying the first game. The first game was always my favorite.
You got me on. You let me borrow your Mass Effect years ago
When it first came out, like 2008,
and then I took it home
7.
and I played it. Played it probably for about 15 hours or so, and then I just kind of stopped playing it.
Yeah.
But it was a fun game back then.
Dude, that game blew my mind.
I've been having the urge to play something classic too, like something like PS2 or Xbox
Well, I mean,
360.
shit, you're gonna have a hard time finding something.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna play. A lot of people been wanting me to play Ape Escape.
Okay, a lot of people.
Yes, quite a few.
I mean, I know Ape Escape was.
When I say a lot, I mean probably about 7.
All right, okay, because I was trying to put that in perspective. Ape Escape is not exactly like if you told me a lot of people have been asking me to play Final Fantasy. Now I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Ape
And I've
Escape,
never
though.
played it, right? And I've also never played Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Oh, that would definitely be a good one.
People are like, you got to play Conker's, right?
Yes.
So I don't know. And I think Conker's is available on Steam too. I think there's like a version of it out.
They did
or something.
Something. I know they did it. I think on the Xbox Arcade at some point. I don't know if that ever made it to the PC or not. I can't remember. But either way, it's not like it's difficult to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I have it for N64.
Yeah,
It'd just be
exactly.
a pain in the ass to like capture it and stuff, right?
Yeah. But although your capture card is not bad, it does
No.
take all of those resolutions. It's made for old consoles.
Well, then maybe I'll just N64 it
just
up and play it in its glory.
cram it in there,
Yes.
make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But other than that, yeah, Mass Effect's been great. It reminds me so far about why I consider Mass Effect 1 my favorite in the series. Mass Effect 2, I think, is the best game in the series. But Mass Effect 1 was my favorite. I wish, like, my perfect Mass Effect game was if you took Mass Effect 1's more RPG gameplay and melded it with the polish that Mass Effect 2 was afforded because they sold a bajillion copies of Mass Effect 1, right?
Yeah.
So if that happened, like we had that little love child, then that would have been perfect. That's not what we got in Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3 is still a very good game. The ending, obviously, was one of the most hotly contested things at the time as to whether or not they should have been shot for writing it. But nevertheless, very good series. I look forward to playing through it all. So I did that for a few days and started backing off on the Apex a little bit. Play it here and there. It's still a very good game. It just doesn't do well on the stream. So I've got to swap it out, and people are loving the Mass
Fuck
Effect.
Apex. I'm just so over. I'm just over.
I still have fun when I play it. And stuff,
I guess.
Like I enjoy it when I play it. It's just that it's not good on stream. Because even when I'm at my peak and I like win a couple of games, like if I win a couple of games a day, or if I'm running deep every game and I'm getting like 4 or 5 kills a match, having a good time, it just doesn't matter.
Bro, you're up against everybody and their dogs.
Exactly.
So the answer
and their dogs are probably better at it than I am.
Oh, absolutely.
Almost guaranteed. They've been trained to play
They've been
Apex.
trained to play Apex.
It's a thing.
At a very high level.
So that was my week. But
Cool.
anyway.
Hey, we're on YouTube
We
right
are.
now. If you guys are enjoying the YouTubes and you want to see more of these, hit that like button. We got... don't have my glasses on. 38 likes. Let's hit that 50 likes.
38.
And we've almost got 130 viewers,
Let's
which
go.
is pretty much Twitch peak.
We're at least on par. So that's a good start. That's a good start.
That's a great start.
If you don't know what this podcast is about, if you're just rolling in either from our channel or otherwise, Technical Alpha, we're about 2 years deep into this podcast now.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, just kind of wild to me. It feels like a year, not 2
Bonkers.
years. But basically, we talk about video game news and whatnot in the industry, movie stuff, and TV,
And then we just shoot
random
the
pop
shit.
culture.
Shit
pop
just
culture
happens. Stuff.
Shit just happens.
And then we have a tech support where Patreon supporters can ask us questions.
Yes.
And then it's basically like
Shoot the
watching
shit.
StarCraft, but in podcast form without the StarCraft.
Basically,
Yes,
it works.
I think it does.
Mr. Black, Halo is a video game series.
Oh, we're starting with Halo.
Halo is a video game series.
It is.
And Halo, we played a lot of as young children. Halo 1, Halo 2 specifically. Lots of Halo.
Lots and lots of Halo.
Lots of Halo 2 for sure because of the multiplayer being, in my opinion, the best console multiplayer experience for a shooter, bar none. I don't think there's another one that you can get on. Jeff is now casually pulling out a stack of Halo-related memorabilia.
Okay, so the people in chat can also take part in this.
Yes.
All right? I want you to go through those games.
Got a few. All right.
All right? And
You got a couple doubles in here, but that's okay.
Yeah. I think one's like a box hardcover. Anyway, I want you to put your favorite, so from the best to the worst in order. So at the top...
You actually don't have Halo 1 in this right now.
I do.
Just not in this stack.
Not in that stack. Where's my Halo? There it is.
All right.
There you go.
Okay. $2.
I got it for $2. Actually, I got it for $1. So will you take a buck for it? Yeah, I'll take a buck.
It's a hot pickup.
So in order from best to worst from what I have there, I think I have all of them.
So putting it like in a stack. Well, you also have Halo Wars in here. Are we including the?
No, don't. You don't.
All right, so here, take that back because that doesn't really count in this deal. Oh man. Okay. So, you also have 2 Halo 3s. I'll give you the really awkward, like clunky one.
Yeah, that's
there. That's the limited tin one. I had that as well. I think I still do. All right. So in order, be Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo ODST.
You putting that before Reach? Number 4 before Reach?
This is where I'm.
Yeah.
This is where it gets hard. Everything before that's easy.
Yeah. I'm going Reach, then 4.
Reach like this is where it gets difficult for me.
4 is horrible, bro. 4 is not a good Halo game. It's not a good Halo game.
No.
And neither is Reach.
But neither is Reach. That's my problem.
It's
I don't. All right.
tough.
I put. I'm putting Halo 4 in front only because it has Master Chief instead of just a bunch of random people.
Okay, all right. I'll take that.
Because if I'm going to have a shitty Halo game, at least it has Master Chief.
So basically what Adam is saying is this. They got worse as they came out.
Reach was before 4, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well,
nobody's going to argue with that statement that in
Yeah.
general it would be a safe bet to say that Halo has gotten progressively worse over time.
So coming back to your topic,
Yes.
is that going to be at the bottom of Reach?
Oh, Halo Infinite?
Yes.
Well, that's not actually what the topic was. However, do I think that? I don't know.
Or are you optimistic? And if so, where do you possibly think it could be in the stack of games?
Okay, so just to clarify again, my list is Halo 1, 2, 3, Halo ODST, 4, and then Reach.
Yes.
So I'm going to say that Halo Infinite, I'm a little optimistic about it, and I'll tell you why. They've been very tight to the chest about the game. We haven't seen
Nothing.
shit, right? And they have said very little outside of something like the only BR that's going to be in Halo will be the battle rifle.
Thank God.
Right?
But it's scary. It can be a good or a bad thing, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to tell because if you tell me, for example, that they're going to lean closer to, let's say, a Halo, somewhere between a Halo 3 and a Halo 4 for multiplayer, I wasn't a big fan, or like Reach, I wasn't a big fan of all the like power-ups and the fucking
That's
like
what I
bubble
hated-
shields.
that's what I hated about it.
And the fucking like, all the jet packs, which is definitely bar none the worst fucking thing
There's
they
a lot
put
of
in
people in
Halo.
this chat that like Reach. There's a lot of people in
Well,
here that are saying
that's
Reach.
and that's fine. It's not. I'll clarify. Reach had some pretty good characters, like out of the people in the game. I just wasn't a big Reach fan. Like, as a whole, I'm a bigger. Like I said, if I'm going to have a Halo game that I'm not 100% on board with, I'd rather be on a Halo game with Master Chief that I'm not 100% on board with than not Master Chief. But I liked the idea. I don't hate the idea of not having Master Chief in the game. I just wasn't 100% there. And like I said, those two are almost interchangeable for me.
So where's it going?
I think it could be slotting in above ODST. I think it could fall
just
1,
under
2,
3.
So just under 3. And if they really, if they focus on the multiplayer being tight, simple Halo again, not this bloated, fucking Botox injected,
Call of
botched
Duty
plastic surgery. Chase after everything cosmetic fuck show.
I don't want to jump off walls. I don't want to run up things.
Just give me Halo with weapons in places that become kind of king of the hill because you want to have the power weapon stuff. The good shit.
Yes.
It goes ahead of 3.
Dude, I'm gonna put it this. I'm gonna say this. If the game isn't good, it's gonna go above 4. Okay?
That's safe.
That's
for
safe.
sure.
If the game is good, it's going above. It's going.
You better not say it goes above 2 because that shit would be fucking. That'd be the hottest take of the
going
goddamn
above
century.
3.
Okay.
I wanted to say 2, but 2, dude, 2 is my favorite online experience for Halo. Period.
Halo 2 is my favorite online experience. Period.
Period. Halo 3 was fun, man.
It was
Halo
fire.
3 playing that shit. I remember during high school.
The level editor and shit, lots of crazy stuff.
A lot of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Halo 1 is just an incredible campaign. I mean, and just a multiplayer experience with your boys, you know? But Halo 2 just broke the mold, man. I mean, seeing this fucking shit right here, this little orange line, you guys remember that shit?
The Xbox Live enabled.
Online enabled. You saw that shit on a Halo box, bud?
Body was ready.
Shit. Oh, look, there's an extra copy of Halo sitting in Halo 2.
Perfect. You're now ready.
Look at that.
Doubled.
We got doubled them.
I think one might be the original, and one's actually the Game of the Year like updated release.
Okay. Well,
you
either
got
way,
there.
great. But yeah, I'm gonna go above 3, because if they do it right, what you're saying,
Yeah.
how could it not? And if it goes above 3, then oh shit, we have a contender on our hands. We've got a Twitch contender. On our hands.
Here's how I'm. Here's my take on things. I want to believe that 343 Studios understands the gravity of live streaming video games that have multiplayer. Okay? They're going to have a campaign. Will they ever get to be as good as the first 2 Halo game campaigns?
Probably not.
Probably not. If they do it, fucking awesome.
Great.
But that's not going to be the thing that blows their game up to the sales numbers that Microsoft needs right now in their gaming division.
Dude, how mad will you be on a scale of 1 to fuck you straight in the pussy hole if they go Halo Battle Royale? That's their multiplayer.
Like their only multiplayer?
Well, that's the one that people are going to play, bro. Even if there's a classic multiplayer Halo, the new generation, they're playing the Battle Royales. That's what's going to be streamed. That's what's going to be wanted. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this. Halo, my friends, is going to have a Battle Royale.
Even though they said already that they aren't going to have one?
Halo is going to... How could they not? How could they not? If you don't put out a Battle Royale in 2019 or 2020, when the shit is the shit, there's no other multiplayer game that's just a multiplayer game except for Counter-Strike. And that shit's been around since the old Halo, before Halo.
So here's my Halo Battle Royale pitch, okay? You don't put it in Infinite. It's a separate thing entirely.
It's not happening, bro.
And it's based in the ODST line.
No, it's
not the main Halo shit.
No, they won't do that
because then you're dropping ODST pods instead of it already makes sense.
Yeah.
And you're not dropping a bunch of Master Chiefs out of a goddamn plane. It's just literally you're dropping hot ODST pods. They're general soldier infantry type shit. They're not necessarily all Spartans. That makes sense. You could make that work if you. I'm gonna say they're not going to have Battle Royale, for better or worse. I
hope not.
I
hope they break the mold and bring back the old school fucking multiplayer shit and have people remember what it was like.
I think, honest to God, now that Apex is here, that it is going to be... Because Apex is representative of basically every other BR that's ever existed. They've taken the best parts out of all those BRs, put them together, and put that Respawn Entertainment tight shooter experience as the backbone, and it's fucking on everyone, except for the fact that it's got the bugs, which will eventually be dealt with. But that's, mind the pun, it's the apex of Battle Royale. Where do you go in any like, I'm sure there's up, but where do you go in an appreciable way that's going to be so much better than Apex for a Battle Royale?
I think the only thing you can do is have a Halo Battle Royale, and you use the name.
And the name alone would be the only thing.
Yeah, you use the love of the name.
But it still
has
to be
the fact that we haven't gotten anything big in a while. And here's the thing. A lot of Halo fans out there today, whether they want to believe it or not, and they're vocal about it, they're not happy with what Halo's been for a long time. A lot of them haven't. There's some out there that are just fanboys who are just going to play it and
play
Halo
love
regardless. And that's it.
Yeah.
But the diehards, like the real fucking guys that really know, and gals that really know what Halo's all about, they're not happy about it. So what does the Halo Studios do? What do? They go, okay, you know what? You know what sells? Battle Royales. So even if we put out a game and say the campaign is good, and like you just said, in 2019, 2020, a good campaign's not enough. It's not enough to drive those numbers. It's enough to sell a game, especially with Halo, to some degree. But it's not going to keep the narrative going. It's not going to keep the headlines, the streamers playing it, just keep people involved so that when there's an update, they care. It's there. You play it for a week. It's gone. You're back to Apex. You're back to Fortnite. You're back to COD. You're back to PUBG. You're back to League of Legends. You're back to whatever the fuck people are back to being back to. Here's what Halo can do. They come up with the Battle Royale and they go, you know what? We're fighting almost a non-winnable fight here. It's either we come out with the single greatest Halo of all time, or we remind people that we're great, which they've been proven that it's been a tough thing for them to do. Then they go, you know what? Since we can't do it, or we're not willing to attempt it, because I think they got one more shot, and this shot is still, I don't even know if they can really pull this off to begin with. But if they do have it, it's this shot. But what would help them out is the Battle Royale. The people that haven't played Halo, because the 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds that are on Fortnite's dick, they don't know what the fuck Halo is. They might have heard about it, but they're and now they're in the shooter thing. Twitch is a big deal. It's this new in automatically to get people excited. If Halo just comes out with another game how hard is it going to be to reach a new audience? Because that new audience, they don't give a fuck about Halo. It's like getting into a Marvel cinematic universe and you've missed the first 30 movies of Marvel. Typically, the people that haven't gone and watched Marvel movies, they're not going to watch a fucking Marvel movie. They're already like, fuck Marvel. He's stupid. There's too many superhero movies. I'm not into the shit. It's the same thing with Halo. But if they come out with it and it's relatable, it's something, it's part of what they already have, but they've heard that Halo is fun and it's good and it's something new and it's exciting. It's something new to grind, something new to get good at. I think that's a great opportunity for Halo brand to pull new people in, get them excited about Halo, and then from there, if they want to come out with another game in the future, after that, they don't have to do the Battle Royale. They could make their classic Halo. They could get people back on board.
But if you bait people on Battle Royale and come back with classic Halo afterwards, like, what are you doing?
Well, they give classic Halo, but they give classic Halo in a Battle Royale form for this one, plus the single player. But then the next Halo, because, dude, I don't think Battle Royale's got too much lifeline left in them. I personally think that Battle Royales are going to start falling off by the end of 2020. I really do. And people are getting fatigued. I think that this last line of Battle Royales that are coming out...
Since Halo Infinite is unlikely to be out until 2020, it would beg the question to me as to why in the fuck would you enter an arena with the goddamn
one last
heavy hitters? That's a terrible idea.
I think it's a great... How else are they going to get new blood in that's playing all these new games? They're selling to the old customer that's not that interested anymore.
Here's my counter to it. Would be eventually somebody has to decide, and it's one of the big guys, somebody has to decide that they're going to be the one to no longer continue the trend of putting out a Battle Royale. Okay. Somebody has to be the first person to do it.
You think Halo's going to do it?
Yes.
You think they're going to do it right?
No.
Well, then rip.
Well, no, I shouldn't say that.
Then you know what? If they don't do it right, then they haven't done it. You know what I mean?
But
if they don't do it right, it hasn't been done yet.
But what I mean by that is, I think that I don't think that you're wrong that Battle Royales are starting to see it. We're at the
peak.
The peak, right?
But we're actually, I actually think
we're starting to we're past
yeah.
the peak. We're starting to work our way towards the down.
Yeah.
Now, how far it goes down before it levels out like League of Legends and shit, we had no fucking idea. We're not going to know until we're there.
Fortnite took a massive hit.
It did, but 100,000 people on it like 2 o'clock in the morning. They're not hurting,
no,
right?
They're fine.
And I think 343 is looking at that kind of thing, going, all right, look, what are the odds if we play this by the time this game comes out? One of two things. One, how far up this list are we really going to go? If we absolutely smash the fuck out of a Battle Royale, which may or may not happen, we've all seen how difficult it is to do that. We've seen Call of Duty fail and Battlefield fail. Most of the people doing...
Not in sales. Battlefield failed. Call of Duty sold some fucking copies.
But that's because it's Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
They definitely failed now. I mean, in terms of the battle... Who the fuck's... Hey, is anybody out there in chat right now playing Battle Royale Call of Duty?
Not very many. There was a couple of people in my community talking about how they tried to play with like a full squad, and it still took them like 5 to 10 minutes to get into a match sometimes. Like, it's dead.
It's done.
In terms of multiplayer, it's dead.
Yeah.
If you're waiting longer than a minute and a half, 2 minutes to get into a match at this point, it's dead.
You're dead.
So, my point is, it's almost all downsides to them. Even if they crush it, Battle Royale is still on the way out. If they don't crush it, not only did they miss the Battle Royale train, but they're also going to have every fan look at them and go, you fucking asshats. You spent all this time and energy building a Battle Royale when it's already on the down low, when nobody fucking wanted it, and on top of that, you fucked it up. That's going to get them a lot more backlash than... You didn't do a Battle Royale, and then a couple of fucking... Because, like you said as well, the people who are playing Battle Royales right now, the 14, 15-year-olds, they don't fucking give a shit about Halo.
Hell no.
So just because Halo comes out with a Battle Royale does not mean that magically, out of nowhere,
I think
they're going to hop train to Halo. Because also what I want you to remember is, do you remember the pace of a Halo game?
It's slow.
Even the fastest Halo is 1/10 of the speed of current Battle Royales. People would feel like they were in a goddamn Model T Ford.
You know what? Adam, I'm with you. I hear you. I absolutely hear you, but I'll counteract, and your thought process is 100% on point. But I will say this. If Halo comes out and the streamers love their games.
Yes.
Summit's a huge Halo fanboy.
Of course,
and
he's going to play it.
Yeah, and we all saw what Summit even did with Sea of Thieves.
Doc's going to play it.
Doc's going to play the fuck out of it. Summit, if Shroud picks
Shroud
the game
will
up,
play it.
Ninja will play it. I'm telling you, dude, the
Yes.
sales will happen. And if the streamers like it, they've made it. That's it. And they only need 3 of the 10 mega streamers to do it. That's it.
Here's the other thing is I would rather, because here's what I would say is that Shroud, Doc, the crew, they're likely to all play this regardless if it has a battle royale or
That's true.
not.
That's true.
So if they come out
But continuously play it though.
But if they come out and do core Halo really fucking well, okay? The beauty of it is that it's simple. It's not hard to pick up and understand. Hard to master, not too hard to pick up and understand. So if you get them pushing that game like crazy and they come out and they start pushing stuff like capture the flag modes, king of the fucking hill modes,
Get me
right?
get me
Just
excited.
classic fucking
Yes.
Slayer modes and
yes,
shit.
yes.
Okay?
Give me that.
You give me that with tight maps.
Give me that.
Here's my other estimation is that because people are kind of like getting burnt out on the whole battle royale thing, why are they really burnt out on it other than everyone else is already doing it? Nobody has managed to really make the networking side for this shit work consistently, particularly well in a long time. Every one of them is just falling apart. But you get a Halo game where it's like maximum 12 people in a match. Games happen fucking instantaneously. You're in and out of a match and like real fucking quick. It's not just one death and it's over. You're back in the fucking action. And Halo is an intense fucking game with their game modes when they nail it right. I think because we haven't had a Halo that's been in the Twitch era.
I'm with you on this.
Just give me
I'm
core
with you.
Halo,
I'm with
bring
you.
all the big guns out to stream it,
I'm with you.
and I think we
sold.
will see a swing in FPS back towards
I'm sold.
more classic,
Give me that.
simple
Give me that.
concept shooters. And people will still love battle royales because they like the random nature of it and shit.
Of course.
But you get somebody like Shroud, who is just fucking rocketed, right? You get somebody like him going to Halo on a PC for the first Halo built for a PC,
Oh, I know. I'm with you.
taking out like a Halo pistol, like a Magnum,
And just fucking
and
bitches.
just ripping bitches up.
taking out the fucking sword and
And I don't. Here's something else: is that while Halo has existed on Twitch, and it has, and they've still been doing world championships and shit
yeah.
like that, is that it doesn't get the shine because it's not where people want to go. But you can start paying people for a brand new Halo that's PC built and not on a console, and you start seeing people doing shit like throwing a plasma grenade at a fucking sniper rifle to blow it towards them to pick up the gun and then ripping a dude's head off.
Hey, Adam, you got me sold on it. We'll see. I'm with you. I'm officially joining the dark side over there.
I don't think it's battle royale.
I don't think it's. I'm just trying. I was playing a little bit. I wasn't really playing devil's advocate. I actually thought if they were coming out with the game this year, I feel like we'd have a better chance of getting one. But if they're coming out with the game next year, then yes, I'm with you. And
Absolutely.
I think that's probably the best way to do it. But anyway,
So I said all that to say Master Chief Collection rumored to be on the PC next week.
cool.
That's how we got to all of that
Hey.
to get to this point.
Hey, you know,
Master Chief Collection.
that's the beauty of Halo. Halo is such a good series.
People
and
still
it has
pulling for it.
It has so much potential.
It does.
It's like Star
On the
Wars.
PC.
It's like Star Wars.
Yes.
Right? You get a couple bad Star Wars movies, you're like, fucking Christ. But then you think, okay, there's a new director, there's new writers. Oh my God,
There's a
George Lucas,
chance.
this is such a, there's a chance. If they just go back to basics, oh my God, what happens? Just
Ryan
please,
Johnson.
just go. And then Ryan Johnson happens, and then your dreams are broken and crushed, and that's the show. We'll see what happens.
It's gonna be great. I love a Master Chief Collection on the PC, especially if they fix the problems that Master Chief Collection had on the Xbox. Now, mind you, I never ran into any of those issues personally.
Neither have
But the fact that you could switch between the old graphics and new graphics on the
That's
fly
cool.
was dope.
Yep.
And then you get to play through the old Halo, and that's you give them a little momentum, getting into the Halo Infinite thing. I think they do very well to follow Respawn's model of show almost nothing and then
And then just
drop
come
a
out.
fucking bomb.
It's out. Have
Here
fun.
it is.
Yeah.
It's available Xbox,
Everywhere.
PC, and it works right now. That's going to be the hardest
Go.
thing is it works.
It works.
If it works,
Hey.
it's a big win.
Hey, we've seen what happens with Apex, even if it doesn't work, as long as it's a great game.
yeah, but that's because it was a battle royale.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Halo can't afford those mistakes.
You really can't, because
You're
I
walking
agree
on
with you with
eggshells.
something you said a while ago. Just to cap this off, I think this is 343's last chance
Oh, this is it.
to make a Halo that breaks it back into Halo being super mainstream because Halo's turned into a niche.
Yeah.
So this is their chance to do it, and
Yeah.
if this doesn't fly,
Yeah.
Halo's done.
That was like Andromeda, right? That was their chance to bring
Anthem, not Andromeda.
or Anthem.
Yeah.
Sorry. That was their chance, and they blew it.
Speaking of Anthem, it's soft bricking PS4s.
Dude, Anthem's fucked. Anthem is absolutely fucked. It was funny, Mr. Miyagi yesterday. I'm like, man, what do I play today? Because I play a little bit of Trials Rising.
Yeah, you played a little Trials.
Yeah, because we used to play the shit out of that Trials HD back in the day.
An unhealthy amount.
Dude, we used to sit, Adam and I used to sit on Xbox Live.
Like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, all night on those. You guys remember those little shitty headsets?
Yes.
Like the padding on them was like this.
Yeah,
Like,
if you think that Apex's in-game audio sounded
Oh,
bad and you
it
weren't
was-
around for that era of Xbox Live,
it was horrible. It gets to the point where Adam and I would just sit on speakerphone.
Yeah.
Like we'd just call each other on the phone and just put it on speakerphone because fuck. But we used to sit there and we used to just grind out times. And
Yes.
we'd try and see who gets the best times. We'd sit there for
We got pretty
hours.
good. Like,
oh,
we
we
had
got
some-
fucking really
we had
good,
some
dude.
top
Some
10s.
tops. Oh, dude, we were crushing that shit. And that was the thing back then.
It
man.
was the thing.
That was just so fucking cool. Like competing against people online and trying to get the best times and shit. Like these times today, like even if they do have that ability now,
yes.
you just don't care anymore.
No.
Like you just don't care to go to look at stats.
Well,
and-
that was still the achievement hunting era and everything
yeah,
too,
dude,
right?
It was so much. Yeah, we used to do tons of that for every game.
Just play every game until you got as many achievements,
As you could. And
Yeah.
then you'd look at your profile and you've got like so
Yeah.
many points and you get badges and shit. It was fucking fire. But anyway, Mr. Miyagi was like, "What do you want? You know, you should play Anthem." and I
That's
thought
because Mr. Miyagi hasn't hit the end game of Anthem yet, and he still thinks it's good.
well, he said, you know, you never know, like you might like it, and there's not that many people playing it, so you know, it might be good for you. And I was and you know, he's starting to talk some sense to me a little bit. I'm okay, so I go over to Twitch. And I'm like, you know what? Let me watch 10 minutes of this game. Just 10 minutes. I'm gonna make a decision on the fly. You know, I really don't want to pay for this game, but I'll do it if I have to. I watched it for 4 minutes,
Oh,
and it was a whole lot of fucking nope.
yeah.
Dude, I watched a guy in what seemed to be a mech suit.
That's basically your Iron Man, various versions of Iron Man.
Okay, it looked
suit.
like a Marine
Yes.
from StarCraft.
Yeah.
In his suit.
Yeah.
With a little bit more bells and whistles.
Yes.
He was jetpacking up and down.
Yes.
And he was shooting a fucking massive machine gun at what seemed to be a raid boss of some sort, this big fucking thing.
Probably, yeah.
There was other people shooting at him. I watched them shoot this dude for 4 minutes, and I watched this monster just and it was and that was it. And that
that's
was
all
it.
there is to
Until
it.
eventually the motherfucker went down.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Exciting,
It was exciting the moment I tuned in. I was like, oh damn, this is
'Cause
a
it
lot of
looks
shit going
good,
on.
right?
It looks,
Yeah.
It's pretty, it looks good. And then you just keep seeing it, and you're like, what the fuck
Is this going to change at any point in time?
it's like watching Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
And there's a dude that a spirit bomb just went down.
Yeah.
Goku just smashed Frieza with a spirit bomb, and now the fucking world is getting smashed to pieces. And then they show the trees blowing, and then 2 minutes later they show the same tree animation blowing because they're so lazy that they didn't want to do a different version of it, so they just keep copy and pasting in that same.
Frieza's still alive. Hit
Yes.
him with another spirit bomb. More trees.
literally the
Frieza's
same
still
thing.
alive.
It's the same.
Yeah.
That's what the Anthem was, man. And that was just for me. And then I was like, nope, buying Trials.
It's
was
it's that. See, that's what you just described is what when somebody asked me what would it take for that genre to be good, and I replied, well, you know, obviously bullet sponge is a problem in that genre anyway because there's not really that many ways you can tackle not having bullet sponge.
Yeah.
If everything is going down in a few shots,
That's
then
not fun.
the game's gonna last like 4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
You don't feel like some sort of like god, but there's a balance between it being too bullet spongy and you never feel like a god,
Yeah.
and too not bullet spongy and you just plow through the game.
Yeah.
And that's just the nature of a looter shooter. The way that you make it better is not necessarily dealing with the minor enemies too much,
Mm-hmm.
although you could make them maybe a bit smarter. Like Halo did a good job of mob enemy artificial intelligence. Is when you get to the raid boss, like you were watching, is if you're going to make somebody sit there and shoot for 10 to 15 minutes straight, that's fine. But make sure that the attacks
Are
that
different.
the raid boss are doing changes enough so that you actually have to be way more involved in what's going on. Maybe make the environment change over time.
Terrain.
Maybe
you have to move completely out of the area. Maybe the fucking ground is falling
There's
underneath you.
There's got to be something that keeps you going for that whole time.
That's what Devil May Cry did really well.
Devil May Edgelord.
Yeah, but when I used to play Devil May Cry,
yes,
and it's a hack and slash game.
It is,
But what they did so well is they made it so that the hack and slash didn't feel, of course, to some degree it felt repetitive, but the environments changed so much so often that it felt like it was a new experience in every area you were in.
It's almost in like some of the older, like the Mortal Kombat fighting games, and you'd uppercut somebody, you'd go into you go to a new area,
jump
right?
Up into the new spot, and like Blizzard going on now.
Having something change in the environment at least gives you the idea that something is progressing. And yeah, the problem is with those, I guess, is that you're inevitably, if you're grinding raids, you're going to see the same terrain changes and stuff over time. But that's why varying the attacks. And not just having it be bosses at 80% health, now it does this attack. Bosses at 50%
Need some
health.
RNG.
Now it does mix it up, right? And then it makes grinding them less repetitive.
Yeah.
And it also makes killing them the first time when you're still sitting there for 10 minutes shooting them less repetitive.
Well, and when you go back to it the next time, it's almost like a completely different experience.
Exactly.
You're like, whoa, okay, he didn't do that last time.
So here's the problem with that. These games have such a large scope as far as how much content they're trying to provide, that providing that level of like minutia in terms of gameplay is too expensive and too costly.
Yeah.
So they're constantly at odds with the scope of the genre, of what people expect for how much gameplay, how much time that they can sink into it, and how detailed they can make all of those little pieces, those small little segments of that gameplay. So because Destiny 1 has already come out, Destiny 2 experiences the same thing. They put out some content, people no-life the fuck out of it for 3 straight days.
Yep, it's done.
It's done, and then they go, where the fuck's my content? This shit's so fucking boring already. What you doing, Bungie? It's like, we just worked on this for 6 straight months.
We just spent $200 million, guys.
And you just cranked this shit out in like fucking 2 days. We're sorry that you don't have a life and you're just fucking crushing this game, but we can't it's impossible. You're asking for what's not possible.
Yeah.
So that is the trouble with that genre, which is what I was kind of concerned with when I saw Anthem the first time at E3 was, how are they going to fix the problems that Destiny and even the Division have run into? And they can't. People are comparing Anthem to Destiny 1 right now. Division 2 is seeing a bit more of a positive response. It's still getting a lot of negative response in regards to how much bullet sponge there is, but again, that's just part of the genre. You can't really avoid it. It's just how do you solve that problem with variety in gameplay? I haven't played or seen very much Division 2 yet. Some people have been like streaming a little bit of it here and there. They were paying Vis, I think, at one point to play a little bit. We'll see when it's like really taken off on Twitch, when it fully launches and people are hopping on, what it looks like, and I'll comment more on it then. Maybe I'll get a chance to play it at some point, but it's still going to have the same problem. So it will come down to what we're just talking about. How varied can they make those encounters so that you at least feel like you're involved instead of just draining your ammo supply into an enemy for 10 minutes straight.
That's it. What's next?
So yeah, it's soft breaking. Oh, I want to finish that thought. Soft breaking PS4s.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently Sony came out to help them and said, look, guys, it's not entirely their fault. It is a bit on our side too with the console. So there's a fix being worked on to solve this. But it will flat out soft break your console. You have to boot into safe mode, which is like you just hold the button a certain period of time. And then you verify your hard drive, and it's okay. But people were freaking out because if they don't know about the safe mode thing,
they were like,
the console looks like it's dead, right? So that's a bit of a problem. So they're working through that. They're also working on how the game scales their the damage. Is that they've kind of done it the wrong way, and so it's making weapon balance really fucking hard for them, and it's making the game even worse in regards to that bullet spongy nonsense. So they just can't seem to get on top of it all. So all the best, BioWare, because this has been like your big shot. You know what? I'm making this prediction on the podcast too, because I made it when I started playing Mass Effect this week. I think because Anthem has gone down, I already knew it was going to happen eventually, but I think it's going to be sped up. We're going to see a Mass Effect Collection remaster coming up faster than we would have otherwise because Anthem is not producing. BioWare is going to need to remind people why people should give a fuck about BioWare, and also show them that they still want to be able to do that stuff and make them some quick money. remastering a game can be expensive, but it's not as expensive as making a brand new game. Mass Effect will do well if you remaster it and make it easier to play on the PC and stuff, because right now it's not all that easy.
Mm-hmm.
They do that. They pump out Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. They put that out there. That would be their Band-Aid to the constantly bleeding wound that they have right now.
Sorry, guys. Here you go. Here's a consolation prize.
Exactly.
Everything will be okay.
And then they get their shot to not do a multiplayer game, but then they're going to, I think, have one more shot to do like a standalone single-player classic BioWare experience, story-driven, narrative, not whatever the fuck this idea was that EA obviously crammed down their throat.
Yep.
And go from there. Steam has been... Steam had a softball lined up for them this week,
Okay.
and they somehow... You played softball probably when you were real young, right?
That's all I played.
So, do you ever play T-ball?
I played T-ball.
So when you're younger, you played T-ball first, you get into the softball.
Sit right in front of you. You just swing and hit.
Just swing and hit the goddamn ball.
Yep.
You always know how there's that one kid that even though it's right on there, he hits the tee every time, but never hits the ball, and the ball just kind of like limp dick falls off the thing onto the ground,
That
and then they're
fucking
like,
kid.
fuck it, just run. That's what Steam did this week.
Okay.
There was a game released on Steam called Rape Day.
Come again?
Rape, that's a capital R-A-P-E, Day. Rape Day, as in a day of rape.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
You can guess what that game might entail.
Raping
Yes,
in the day.
a fair amount of it. Also, some borderline, I think there's actually some, like, necrophiliac shit in there.
Oh.
And they held back on some child shit because they didn't want it to not be able to get put on Steam.
Really?
All right, so you follow me on this so far? It's
Yeah.
a little fucked up. All right.
So is that insinuating that they were already going to get on Steam
They
with
were.
the Rape Day?
They were.
Okay.
And they were for a while, for several days. And everyone
Several
was
rape
like,
days.
several rape days. A week. A baker's dozen of rape days. And Steam, all Steam had to do. All right, so the lead up to this is we would remember that earlier, or like in 2018, Steam said it came out and said, you know what, guys? We're letting everyone curate this shit. This is like except for extreme circumstances, of which their legal terminology was super vague. Anything goes. Fuck it. Just load this platform up with as much bullshit as you could possibly come up with, and then the market will decide what wants to be bought and what wants to be, put into obscurity.
Okay.
All right. That's a very noble idea. You still have to keep on top of some stuff that's pretty bad. Like, for example, if somebody came up with a game called Rape Day, which involves a bunch of rape and other
Necrophiliac type
weird shit, okay? T-ball of the century. All Steam has to do is get out on top of that as soon as it becomes public knowledge, which took 24 hours.
shit. Sure it did.
And take it down immediately.
Yes.
The name alone probably could arguably be enough to take the game down.
Yes.
Let alone the context of the game. And then come out and say, we do not approve of any video game on our platform or otherwise in which rape is a core concept of the game and not part of some much more specific, like, social commentary something. Or just not even go that far. Just say, fuck rape. Nothing.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah.
It's out of here.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
couldn't even do that. So it took them like days and days to get a response up. They eventually take the game down, and instead of just denouncing like rape and like games about rape and everything else, it's just the easiest softball PR move of life. They come out and say something like, "Oh, it's going to be difficult to manage this. It's going to be damaging and stuff. And so we're just going to, it was like a bunch of like legalese bullshit instead of just saying no rape. Done. They couldn't even do that.
Bro,
And so now people are going, all right, so is there like an acceptable amount of rape? Like, is there like does Steam have some sort of like weird concept of a universe in which Rape Day was going to be like okay?
I'm seeing some screenshots of this.
Are you
game.
seeing some screenshots of the game?
I don't know how in the fuck.
Yeah.
I actually don't. It's actually kind of creepy. I actually don't know how in the sweet living. Come on, Steam. Come on, Steam.
How difficult can it possibly be to just take that down and be like, nope, That's it. So they fucked up a T-ball in that one.
It's fucked up.
Xbox rumored that there's a possible Xbox One S coming that's got no disk drive. It's literally all hard drive just for downloadable games. I think they wanted to call it something like the oh shit, what was the name of it? They had a name for it. Anyway, it's still rumored, but it's rumored for like May, so like coming up soon. Just for people who want to save a couple extra bucks because the console will be cheaper because they don't have the disk drives in them. And it, they've obviously got the process of making Xbox One S's down.
Question is, what's the hard drive on these things?
I'm assuming they're gonna up the hard drive. It'll be like a terabyte, probably maybe a 2 terabyte version or something available, and allow people to download somewhere between 5 and 10 plus games at a time without having to uninstall. And so that's the thing. Thumbs up.
Cool.
I'm
there's
sure
nothing wrong with,
there's nothing wrong with it. People are going to probably hop on it a little bit, and it's just giving them another SKU to probably start to slowly reduce the number of SKUs of the Xbox One as they are ramping into production of the Xbox One, or ramping up Xbox One X, scaling back on the other ones, and getting ready for the next gen Xbox that is probably 2020, I believe.
Yep.
Great news for Ubisoft this week. So Ubisoft has been battling. We talked about the podcast over the course of the last year or so, but Vivendi had been trying to overtake Ubisoft, buying shares out over time, and then got to a point where Ubisoft was trying to protect themselves, so they were buying back shares to try and keep the majority control of the company. And then Vivendi started to like slow down and be like, I don't know if we want to do this. Well, finally, this week, Ubisoft and Guillaume can breathe because Vivendi has sold the last of their shares and they're no longer trying to take over the company.
There we go.
So Ubisoft still gets to stand by themselves and not get controlled by some major entertainment conglomerate. They survived the overtake, and now they can continue to make what I consider to be the most inconsistent in quality games on the market. Ubisoft.
Yes.
You either get dog shit
or you get
some fire games.
Yep.
They don't seem to have figured out the consistency part yet.
You know what? I'd rather have it that way, honestly. I'd rather just have it. It's either going to be great, like worth your money, or not, or just no.
That's true. No middle ground.
Instead of just this middle bullshit where you're just
either you really want it, or you know that you definitely don't want it.
That's it. I actually think just a game should be like that, period. It makes the decision process better, makes you feel better about your purchase.
Yes.
Yeah. So
definitely.
Cool, Ubi.
Good job,
We're
Ubisoft.
happy for you.
You survived it. Random guy in the U.S. who is there from what other country? What country was he from? I can't remember if it was like Malaysia or something like that. I honestly, I'm trying. I wish I had written it down. But he's a student in the States, living in a home with some other guys while they're going to school. You know, that tends to happen. You just rent a house or something together. Randomly, the house got shot up the other night with several bullets that made their way through the walls into the house, into the ceiling fans, stuff like that. One bullet, while the guy was playing, went through the wall and hit the back of his computer monitor, right in dead center. So, like, if his face is here, the bullet basically just hit the back of the computer monitor, and the monitor stopped the bullet, and the monitor still works.
Oh, the dream. That who made that monitor?
MSI.
Oh, MSI is saving lives.
Fucking saving lives.
Dude, that's great publicity.
It's the
for
Nokia
MSI.
phone of monitors.
Oh my god, dude.
So obviously they sent him out a new monitor.
Oh, of course they are. They're gonna be all over that
top
shit.
Of that shit.
They could give him a nice care package.
Exactly. Somebody already made a great meme. It was like the PUBG, but instead of the frying pan, it was an MSI monitor.
Oh my god, they just run around with MSIs in the back of their fucking backpack. Oh shit, they're going around picking up MSI monitors off the ground,
Yes!
slapping them on the back.
Exactly.
Dude.
So that happened. The police eventually said it was completely random. It was one of those things that has just happened forever in the States, where people just, as like a dare, either for gang initiation or just because you're fucking retarded, you get dared to literally just drive through a neighborhood and just blah, 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 just rattle off a few rounds into like fucking random like family homes.
Yeah.
And
hey,
shit.
We want you to drive down the street and just start shooting houses, but how do I get a gun? Well, go to Walmart.
No,
okay.
just fucking do it.
Hey, If that was all of America right now should be buying some MSI monitors.
Exactly.
And just putting one on every corner of the room.
Zombie apocalypse.
Just
Every
get
door,
65-inch monitors.
just massive MSI monitors and bolt them to the walls and windows.
Fucking bulletproof monitors, man. Let's
That's
go.
right. World War III bunkers built out of MSI monitors. So that happened. So shout-outs to that guy for surviving that and not becoming another statistic on the long list.
That's so fucked up.
You just don't hear that shit happening in like Canada or some shit.
Of course not. That shit's
Like,
just crazy, man.
And if it does, it's like once a decade.
the whole fucking city shuts down. They're like, what the fuck?
It's not like people on social media in the States like here's a fucking Uzi and we're just gonna like just into like a random and like for
Dude,
why?
I would say probably.
Why do you do that?
I would say literally, and I'm just making this number up, but it's probably not far off. Probably about 95% of Canadians have never even seen a gun. Legit.
Probably.
And
like in real life,
like
or
in real,
held one.
and held one.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they may have seen at a hunting shop or something.
Yeah.
But in terms of like literally,
Like holding
like if
a
I
gun.
put a pistol on this
Exactly,
table, you'd be
yeah.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
"That's a pistol, Jeff. What the
Yes,
fuck are you
why
doing?
do you have a
Why
gun?"
do you have a gun?
Exactly.
Yeah. You want to hold it? No, I don't want to hold that.
Oh, it's a
That's- yeah.
fucking mess.
That's crazy, man.
So
MSI.
Yeah, MSI.
Shout outs to MSI.
MSI gonna start making bulletproof vests.
MSI, can you hook us up with some monitors?
Yeah.
I need a nice
We need
monitor
something right here.
right here, MSI. Give me something so we can play some classic games.
32 inch.
30 is no, I think 27.
Is it 27?
Yeah, I think 27.
All right.
27. Give us a 27-inch MSI bulletproof monitor and we'll have that shit right there on every podcast. MSI saving
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah. Every day.
Clip that and send that out to them.
Square Enix isn't saving anyone's lives with their games because Square Enix just published a game called Left Alive, which was kind of like you remember those like Armored Core type games, like that kind of like mecha type deal. I don't think it's based on the Armored Core. It was but another one of the mecha games of yore. Front Mission maybe.
Okay.
Anyway, it's called Left Alive, and it came out and it bombed so hard, so catastrophically, that they banned all live streams of it in Japan,
Oh.
and it already started going on sale like 3 days after it came out.
Oh.
Apparently, it is so shittily optimized and plays so fucking broken and bad that they couldn't stop the bad press, and to try and salvage the situation, they've just been basically playing like cover up every ounce of gameplay that you could possibly show so that we have a chance in hell of selling like 5 copies of this video game.
It just doesn't surprise me. It just doesn't surprise me, man. Fuck Square Enix, man. Just
So it
fuck
was
'em.
bad.
Just fuck them.
The Japanese developers just, other
They
than
just-
Nintendo,
Dude,
really
that's it.
struggling to figure out what the fuck. Apparently Devil May Cry, though. Devil May Cry 5.
I'm hearing good things about it.
I'm hearing very good things about it from gameplay perspective. I'm still not going to play it because I literally cannot, and call me an asshole for this, I can't get over how edgelord that shit is.
Super edgelord.
Like goddamn fedoras and shit,
It's
and like
edgelord.
miladies, and just the amount of like teenage angst,
Angst.
and just emo fuckery, and the worst fucking theme song of all time in Devil Trigger, what I had to suffer through in the fucking Game Awards ceremony.
It's bad.
Fuck me! It's bad.
It's real.
Fuck!
It's real bad.
But from a gameplay perspective, apparently it's great.
Looks cool.
Go play it if you can stand the fact that this is some shit for a 15-year-old
They got that
that's
on
got
a new engine too, I do believe,
black dyed bangs over one eye, fucking with like fingerless striped gloves up to his elbows, contemplating life and the great fucking beyond, occasionally considering self-harm and just listening to music, then telling their mom it's not just a phase, this is me for life, and then 5 to 7 years later they're a fucking tax accountant with straight cut hair and a shaved face with a family and 2 children listening to country music. That's what that game is for, and that's just assuming that you can look past that shit and just play it for the gameplay, because apparently the gameplay's fire. So congratulations to those who love it, but fuck me. Like, I can play some like, I can get past some shit
It's very edgy.
if the game is fun.
It's very edgy.
But that is like it's like edgelord if it was like, hello, fellow children. Let me come in and try and use some memes, like Hillary Clinton on Twitter using memes.
Don't do that.
It's like that, but from a video game developer being an edgelord for like 2003. Fuck. It's brutal.
I'm with you.
That's it for games, unless you got something else that came up.
No, that's it.
Mr. Max was Black.
Yeah.
Hit me up with the sound of the room.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I did not hit her. I did
not.
not. It's
I did
bullshit.
not.
I did not.
I did
Oh,
not
hi,
hit-
Mark.
Adam watched The Room for the first time the other day.
Last night.
Last night.
Fire.
It's good.
Fucking fire.
Adam was telling me about some scenes, and I've seen the movie, but I saw it when I was like 18 years old, when it like around when it first came out. It might have been like a year old or something when I first saw it, and it was fire then. And then I saw The Disaster Artist like 2 years ago, maybe even 2 years ago, and that shit was even more fire.
Bro.
It's good.
Bro. I'm going to watch it next. Like,
good.
Disaster Artist is absolutely next on my list.
It's good.
But The Room
Yeah.
it's an experience.
Yes.
That's the only way I can describe it, is it's an experience.
Imagine seeing that in theater with other people, like with like an audience of like 50 other people in a
I
theater.
want to put this into perspective. People were walking out of Star Wars movies, like the latest Star Wars movies. People fill the theaters to see
Yes.
The Room
Absolutely.
because it's an experience.
Yes.
And Tommy Wiseau, I'm fucking telling you,
It's not a
he is
fucking
playing the long game, Sacha Baron Cohen. He'll be on his deathbed and he'll be like, "Ha ha, gotcha, bitch."
Nah.
I'm telling
There's
you,
no fucking way.
there is
bro.
no way that somebody could literally. I've seen some people stumble through life and make like just massive success and continue to stumble. This man could survive every Final Destination movie thrice with the amount of stumbling and winning that he's managing to make happen with The Room.
What a legend.
What an absolute
What
god.
a fucking legend. And what's even more legendary about his legend is it's the only goddamn movie he's ever done.
And he'll never make another movie.
And that's what's so fucking like he hasn't gone to another movie and done his
no,
shtick.
no.
He hasn't tried to make a Room 2 or some sort of fucking prequel or some fucking
Why is
weird
it called
shit.
The Room?
Because everything happens in the
In
room.
the one apartment?
In that one apartment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just the room, man. Like, why wouldn't it be called The Room, asshole? Come
I
on.
don't fucking know. You could call it Oh Hi Mark and I'd be on board.
That's actually a pretty dope name. Oh, hi, Mark.
Perfect.
Yes. Oh, hi.
I did not.
I did not. I did not hit her. Oh, hi, Mark. It's bad.
So I watched The Room. It's fire. If you haven't seen this movie, I promise you, it is the worst movie ever made, but it's also one of the best movies ever made. And I'm not even joking. Like it is simultaneously the worst and possibly one of the best movies I've ever seen. And I was saying this to Jeff earlier, and I'm taking this idea, but it made sense when I heard it. I'm taking this out of the mouth of fucking what's his name who plays it in Disaster Artist? James Franco. It was an interview. He said the movie is successful because not only is it so bad it's good, but why is it good? Why is it so watchable? He says because it has heart. You can watch Tommy Wiseau for all of his energy. He put in every ounce of energy he had in his body into acting his heart out in every scene, and it's dog shit. But you can feel that he has put his soul into this movie.
Yes.
There are tons of soulless shit movies, but this movie is terrible in a way that's funny. But you can feel Tommy Wiseau's soul.
He's like
in
the
this movie.
he's like the captain that goes down with the ship.
He went down hard.
Yeah, he's like I don't give a fuck. He is doing every protocol there is. He's saving lives. He's out there feeling like he's fucking doing his job, and if he's got to go down with it, he's going down with it. And it's a
Oh
pretty,
my god, he's making a new movie called Big Shark.
I'm in.
I'm in. Sold.
I'm in.
He's about to make millions
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
off of that movie.
Oh fuck yeah,
whatever
dude.
the fuck it is.
And he better star in it.
He
or I'm
better
done.
star. I won't watch it if he's not in it.
Yeah, exactly. He better fucking star in this movie.
He better direct, act, produce, fund, everything, just like this one. I will be there
And
with
you can
bells
imagine
on.
if it's a shark movie too, like Jesus.
Oh my god! Can you imagine Tommy Wiseau starring and directing and producing Sharknado?
That's a type of shark movie I envision.
Yes.
That he will make, and I'll watch it. I'll watch all of it. I saw last night. I watched Green Book.
Oh, how was that? Because that one won awards.
The black guy, the marsh, oh come on, you got this, Jeff.
I believe his name.
Something Ali.
Mahershala?
Mahershala Ali. There it
Also
is.
known as Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes 2.0. I saw that last night. Yeah, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it a great deal.
Awesome.
It was good. It's basically about a black guy who is like a piano prodigy.
Okay.
Classically so, and he's a doctor, and he's going down south in the United States at a time where black people, there's still plantations. Black people are in the cotton fields.
Lynching is happening.
It wasn't like in its peak slavery type, but it was still
going down.
It was going down. It was the part where blacks were starting to just come into society, but there were still like black-only bars, black-only hotels. They wouldn't let black people try on clothing in clothing stores unless you were buying it. They wouldn't let you eat at certain restaurants, so on and so forth. And he goes and he performs for all these rich white people, essentially. And he's having this crisis with himself in terms of not being like other black people. And he's got this way of thinking that just because I am black doesn't mean that I need to act. I shouldn't say act black, because that's exactly what he hates. It's more of like, I'm going to be proper in me. Yeah. And it just so happens that I'm black. I don't need to eat fried chicken. I don't need to. That
sounds like that sounds like some social commentary on the year 2019.
It's a lot of social commentary, and to some people probably
that sounds like basically what who was it? I think it's what Bill Cosby was trying to preach before he ended up becoming a sexual deviant, where he was going around trying to tell young black youths, stop acting like stereotypical young black youths, because you will probably do better.
Yeah, well, and it wasn't that he was going around saying that to other black people.
He was breaking the mold. The idea
and to all the other white people is they treated everybody, all the blacks, the same because they saw them in a certain way, and he wanted to show them and himself and show them that I don't need to act a certain. We're just like you guys too, right?
Almost like you watched Boardwalk Empire.
No,
you didn't.
No,
fuck.
Yeah.
Okay,
and it's good. But I actually think what a lot of it is usually it's the opposite. Where, say, for example, you're watching a slavery movie, and you're feeling bad for the black people. You're just like, fuck, man, like I'm feeling like that's just terrible. I can't believe what they went through. Blah blah blah. It makes white people almost look like monsters. Yeah. Right.
Well, they were.
Well, yes. I'm not all. not all. But yes. Yes.
Some good. There's some interesting.
There were a lot of monsters, but that was the whole point of the movies. They want you to sympathize with the black.
Yeah.
And they want you to make the white people look like the devil. Essentially.
Yeah.
And this movie was almost not the opposite, but instead it was almost. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know who directed this movie, but I would almost imagine that somebody black did not direct this movie, because in this it actually tried to make white people look good. It was this thing where because the other main character who's white, he is a blue or a rough around the edges guys from the Bronx, and he drives around this doctor that's a genius, that's a musical genius and a very intellectual guy, and the white dude's this sort of street smart, rough around the edges, fights. His vocabulary's bad. He's basically like a black person in the ghetto. But it's a white guy it's almost like the roles are reversed, and then it's the white guy changing his views on the black on black people, and then you start to see some of the other white. Sure, you got some nasty white characters in there, but then you got some other white characters that do really nice things, and you see them sort of change their. So it was a lot of this like. It was a weird thing, but I enjoyed it. The chemistry between the two main guys were incredible. It was a good story. It was one of the few Oscar movies that I'm just like, oh, it's just usually Oscar bait movies. I'm like, they're a little artsy fartsy and pretentious. This one had bits of that, but I enjoyed it and I laughed. It's like it's not a comedy, but it's a make you feel good, but also make you a little angry too. It's like it's this nice. I liked it. If you guys didn't see it, Green Book, it's not for everybody. I'm telling you, there'll be some black people that'll fucking hate this movie, and then there'll be
because it shows white people as not being all assholes or something.
Yes, because it's a weird thing, and you got this black guy that's really
conflicted with how he wants to present himself.
But I think they do it in a good way. So anyway, I watched that last night. With the wife and my mom. My mom spent the night.
Oh, nice.
So we all watched it, and Kai watched it, but he was sleeping the whole time. So
he'll remember it later on, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he'll remember it.
He'll pick up on it.
Yeah.
But, I drew that. If you have a chance to watch Boardwalk Empire, I think you would really, 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 really like it. So definitely, like, if you're running out of Netflix stuff and you can find Boardwalk Empire.
It's good.
Gab's got me onto it. I think it's probably one of the best series I've ever seen. It's definitely top 10. It could be top 5.
Woo!
Like, it's really good.
Okay.
And it does very similar. It sounds like it's similar era. So it was Prohibition era for this stuff. So it's around that time. So the reason I brought it up is because there's a character in it whose name is coincidentally Chalky White is his name. He's a black guy. But that's like his nickname, right? Kind of Chalky White. So, but he was higher up socially because he was part of like the entertainment ring and whatnot, and was quite well to do financially speaking, and definitely. Even though he wasn't really educated at the time, because obviously that wasn't the case, especially for a man his age at that time, but he handled his business well, and he knew that was what he was, and he struggled internally a lot with that as far as the image as well of presenting more of what would be considered something that would be whiter, but still obviously being very much part of the black community, and then the characters interacting with him. You were seeing the various takes that would have existed at the time. Some of them respecting him wholly and not looking at the fact that he was black and just dealing with him as a business partner. So what you're describing sounded so much like that.
Yeah.
So and they did a great job. But Steve Buscemi is the lead character in Boardwalk Empire.
That's probably pretty good.
And there are some other characters in there that people in there that you'd probably know. In fact, if you saw Chalky White, you probably would know him because he's been in several other things as well. But yeah, very, very, very good show. Definitely,
there's this one scene in particular, and it's no major spoiler or anything, but there's one scene in particular that was pretty profound, where their car, because he's driving them across all through the southern parts of America, because the doctor wants to go to the most places that there's a divide, right, and like the worst possible places. And the car breaks down, and they're on this long highway, and then the white guy, he's basically, he works for the black guy. So he gets out, he's checking out the radiator and in the front of the car, putting water in it, and then he opens up the door for the black guy, and he gets out of the car, and he's always dressed to the nines. He's got a fucking beautiful suit on. He's very proper, all that stuff. But when he gets out of the car, he looks on the other side of the road, and on the other side, there's basically a cotton field, and there's like black slaves just like all in the
showing
field,
that like stark dichotomy between the two.
And then they look over, and they're all like, and they see this strong, independent black guy standing there, and he's and you got the white guy opening the door for him, closing, and all this stuff, and it was just like whoa, and it was like these two worlds. It was like it's so crazy how the difference between
How far of a distance between
yeah,
the two?
it's like how close they are, but still how far it
Exactly,
was.
yeah.
That was like I thought it was the best scene in the movie, and it was really powerful. Some of the stuff in it was really good. So I give 1.5 thumb up for Green Book.
Beauty.
Yeah.
Beauty. I think people are going to give 2, possibly even 5 thumbs down on the Sonic movie, which we all knew was going to be bad anyway.
Yeah.
But then they released the first official images of the Sonic character.
No.
And now, North America has a storied history of taking video game characters for movies and fucking them up in ways that nobody thought could be possible, to make them barely even look like their character counterparts. This is no different. It's, if you have a chance to look it up, you probably would have seen him pop up
I've seen it.
on already, like on Twitter and other like social media. But if you haven't seen it, look it up. It is. I don't know how you fuck up Sonic.
Well, you do it that way.
It's like fucking up Mario. Like how the character's been around for so long and has had such a specific look that how you could get to that point is a mind fuck to me.
Well, it doesn't
bad.
even really look like Sonic. It just looks like it looks fucking stupid. Don't even, you know what?
It kind of looks like, this is what it looks like to me. It looks like a 9 or a 10-year-old drew some fan art of Sonic.
Yes.
And then an actual like graphic artist took that
and
then drew it
and made it look good.
And made it look good, like in the sense of like
sense of you
fidelity.
took the shitty fan art and made the shitty fan art look presentable, like if it was a real good Sonic.
And that's what he looks like.
Yes, it's garbage. Don't even go look at it. This movie's gonna fail so horribly. I knew it was in trouble the moment Jim Carrey signed on to this thing, and I'm like, why is Jim Carrey doing this?
Why would you? How desperate?
Yeah. Oh, desperation.
I mean, his career was already like a little rocky.
Oh,
you take on Sonic?
No, it's no.
You've just shot. It's done. Keep selling art.
Okay, so last week I think we said Will Smith was out for Deadshot. Idris Elba's in for Deadshot.
Oh, that's an upgrade in my books.
That's what a lot of people are saying the exact same thing. So what we're hearing now is James Gunn is going to be making basically a reboot of Suicide Squad.
Oh fuck, that's such a good choice.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised they got him though. Like he's.
I'm not because him and Marvel are done, right? They fired him. They're still using his script for Guardians.
No, I mean Elba, not Gunn.
Oh. Yeah. Elba's Idris is done. He got maxed off on the last Avengers.
You know what I'm oh, that's true. You know what I'm envisioning is what was the name of that movie? Was it called The Tower?
Yep.
That
was with Matthew McConaughey, right?
Yeah,
Are you talking about that?
It was the Stephen King
Yes.
book.
Yes.
That?
Yes.
Deadeye.
Yes. Yes.
Sounds fire to me.
Yes. Idris Elba is just.
Well, he's a god.
I mean, he is crushing it right now.
He's crushing it hard.
Like Hollywood has taken him in.
Dude, he had a fucking rap video just come out here.
I know.
Did you see that shit?
I saw it. Yes, dude.
Also fire. Did you see the coat he came in out of that?
He also does MMA. Did you see that too?
What?
Yeah.
He's a pretty big dude.
Yes, dude. He also does MMA. In fact, I want to say Idris.
Does he just do everything now? Like, is he leaving anything for anyone else to be able to do?
I think Idris Elba. Yeah. So Idris Elba legitimately had a fight. I think he had one professional fight that he won.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he's legit, and apparently he's going to be doing. He's in talks to do like a big MMA movie down the road as well. But yeah, he's like a fucking. He's apparently really good at Muay Thai. The guy is just. He's a
Renaissance man.
Yes, he is. He is that dude, bro. And so anyway, he's playing Deadshot. So I thought that was good. Also, The Witcher has been in production.
Yes,
and apparently, good things we haven't been seeing much, but good things are starting to be being whispered around. They're calling it the Game of Thrones of Netflix.
Oh, that's the dangerous whisper.
I know.
In fact, somebody might call it a careless whisper. I'm here all week.
But anyway, so that's happening, and we're hearing good things. Speaking of Game of Thrones, it's coming soon.
I'm not watching the trailer.
Winter.
I'm going in.
Don't watch that trailer.
No, not
You don't even really see much.
Nothing.
All they're doing is
Nothing.
more
Raw, dry.
It looks so fucking.
No courtesy spit.
It looks fire. It looks fire. I'm fucking ready, bro. I'm ready. I'm not only ready to watch this, I'm ready for it to end.
Yes.
I'm ready for this to end.
Yes.
I want to know what happens.
Yes.
And I just want to move on. I want to say this is the single greatest TV series I've ever seen in my life, and I want to just move on with it and see what other great shows come out.
I just
down the
want
road.
it to end well so that I'm satisfied with it.
I think it's gonna
and not just like blue balled the fuck.
I think it's gonna be pretty fucking fire. And you know what's gonna be dope is every week on the podcast we'll talk about
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Have
And
a spoiler alert at the end of every podcast.
I don't know what days Game of Thrones usually airs. I don't know if it's on a Wednesday. I think it's usually on Wednesdays. I'm not sure.
Tuesday or Wednesday?
Yeah, but I know it's not a Thursday.
No.
So I think we
should
good
be in
there.
the clear.
Yeah.
We should be
and
in the
it should
clear.
also give people a couple days to see it.
Actually
too.
watch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pretty excited.
Fire.
What other new movies related stuff was there? I thought there was one other decently sized.
Well, Captain Marvel is tonight.
Oh yes. Oh, I'm gonna go see that tonight.
Yeah.
Are you coming?
Sure.
Okay. Adam and I are gonna see it, and then we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adam's gonna be my movie date guy for a while because
Hey!
Kayla is on baby duty, and
Yes.
she literally can't leave the baby for more than a couple hours because the baby
If you're
needs
lucky.
milk. Yeah, if you're lucky. Plus, she just doesn't want to. You know how moms are, attached to the hip. So, and I'm with Cinemia, so I've got like a movie plan, which is pretty amazing. I paid like $200. I think it was like $220 for the year.
Yeah.
And I get two movies for two. So I get two movies,
4
for
tickets basically.
So 4 tickets.
Yeah.
And one of them is good for any 3D or IMAX or any
Something like $50 a month worth of
yes for $200.
tickets for
It
$200
basically
and,
after
yeah.
about 3 months
pays for itself. Yeah.
and then you've got the rest of the year for free.
Just rack that up.
Literally for free. And what's great about it too is when you buy them, you still get movie points. So I'm still getting movie points. So once a month, I get a free movie ticket from those movie tickets.
Yeah.
So it's like just a fucking movie.
Just movie bonanza.
Gang. Yeah. So yeah, Captain Marvel. There's this huge divide because of all the shit that Brie Larson's been going on social media and saying she's very, she's like one of those feminist type, this is a great movie for women and shoving down this women thing. And then she made some
I mean, there's nothing bad with saying this movie is for women and it's,
Well,
it's good for women.
It's good for women. She didn't say it was made for women, but she said, it's good. But people are like, I think more people are angry at Marvel for their campaigns that they've been having for Captain Marvel, where it's very woman.
We talked about
agendas.
the first trailer
Yeah.
where I like flat out said like
Yeah.
they had like the all of the imagery was all like down to like showing the first letter was like like the M like upside down or some shit or whatever, and they flipped it was like the woman thing, and like they had it was like really ham-fisted.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about the fact that they should probably be going more of a Wonder Woman route where
Yes.
just let the movie speak for
Exactly,
itself,
and
the
that's
strong female role.
And that's what the public's saying is like,
Yeah.
dude, we don't need you to shove this down our throat. Look how well Wonder Woman did. It was
Yeah.
a great movie. She was powerful. They didn't shove it down our throats.
No.
It was just great. But
and if there was going to be a movie for them to do that with,
it's this.
Wonder Woman would be
Yes.
the one that would have happened.
And and they did it, and
they
it was great.
nailed
And
it.
it's everyone's looking forward to the next one. So with this, the consensus is it's not a bad movie. It's a good movie. But some people there's a divide where people are just fucking salty. If you go to any movie review for Captain Marvel that's out, the likes and dislike ratio are just like it's like.
Seriously,
there's tons and tons of dislikes. People are like this. People are talking about boycotting the movie because Marvel's on their agenda and they're pushing all this fucking socialist type bullshit. And I'm just like, guys,
that just sounds
go
like a
to
bunch of neckbeards.
Yeah, just go to the movie
Yeah.
and fucking have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, if it's got a good message and it's great for women, sure. But people are just upset because they're like, Marvel's acting like there isn't powerful women in other movies. They're acting like this is the fucking one and blah 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 blah. But there's always this. And I just think a lot of it too
I don't disagree that they've definitely been going
they
perhaps a bit harder
but
on
it. Fucking bug. It doesn't move me to the point where I'm like, whatever. You look at something even like Alita, and that's the other thing is a lot of people are like, fuck Captain Marvel, and they haven't even seen it. They're like, go watch Alita. They're like, go support Alita Battle Angel. Because that's got a strong, powerful female lead, and they didn't shove anything down her throat, and we want a sequel. So go fucking watch the movie.
To be fair, I would rather another Alita than I would a Captain Marvel.
Oh, 100%.
Even though I haven't seen it, we're going to see it tonight. I'm going to tell you that even if I enjoy Captain Marvel, I would still rather another Alita Battle Angel.
It's very likely. And speaking of Alita, so they didn't do too hot domestically. The numbers are going up.
Yeah.
Basically overseas in China, movies doing
Smashing
great.
it.
Doing great. We are not in sequel money territory yet. People thought this movie was gonna bomb. Like, it wasn't doing good at all, and then good word of mouth started getting around, and they're starting to get like decent
a lot of
turnover.
people got caught up on like your eyes and shit.
Yeah.
Like before the movie even came out and started
Well,
bad
and you know what?
talking the movie.
And most times, sci-fi in North America
doesn't
it
do
doesn't
all
do
that
well.
well,
It just
yeah.
doesn't. It just doesn't. Like Edge of Tomorrow didn't do well here. Fucking Pacific Rim
Well, we're
doesn't do well
we're
here.
still in our superhero pocket
Valerian
right now.
didn't do well. Alita didn't do
Star
well.
Wars is the only one.
Star Wars is the only one. 'Cause
doing
it's Star
it.
Wars.
Yeah.
So, but overseas are doing well. So apparently, rumor is they need to make between $350 and $400 million to break even on the movie. So it costs a little over $200 million to make, and then they usually double it for advertising. Literally, that's like
Right.
that for almost every movie.
Yeah.
But if Avatar costs $250 million to make, costs another $250 million
to
advertise
advertise.
it. So they've already made what I checked. This was 5 days ago. They had just broke the $350 million mark in terms of money brought in. So they're thinking now that they're right around the break even. They still got a little bit of ways to go, but now that Captain Marvel's coming out, obviously they're going to take another big hit. And then they still got streaming services, Blu-ray, all that other stuff, right?
Yeah,
so they're gonna do well. But what they also think, and what James Cameron was saying is, they already have another one written. They're planning to make another one, but the studio needs to make money.
Yeah.
The thing is they're thinking James Cameron's going to say fuck it and still make the movie because the technology, the way that James Cameron put it was, sure, we'd love it to make to make money. But the thing is the technology that he used was also a test run for Avatar,
Right. Okay.
Because they were. It was almost like it was like if Elon Musk went and built a fucking a SpaceX rocket ship. And they put one up in the air and it did its thing and it came down and it landed off the mark. But it landed. It landed off the mark. Well, was that a success? To James Cameron, it's a success because he's got a good proof of concept. The technology works. People have taken well to it. They know how to deliver it and all this stuff because it'd be much cheaper to do it that way than to do it while they're filming Avatar or trying to build out all this technology.
Yeah.
So people are thinking, and James Cameron's so fucking loaded rich and didn't give a fuck.
James Cameron partially funded himself if he likes the movie enough.
Yes.
They already put all the money into the technology, so it'll be cheaper to do this time around.
That's it.
It'll go faster because they know the technology.
Yep.
And I think that this is going to be one of those movies that does well after it leaves theaters.
Yeah. I agree.
think it's going to be like kind of similar to Pacific Rim, where it didn't necessarily like absolutely smash it in theaters, but then it turned into a movie that everyone wanted to own at home.
Yep.
Show off their
TVs.
and their home theater systems and shit.
Yep.
Because they're going to be like pushing Dolby Atmos.
Yep.
They're going to be pushing the 4K crazy shit. If James Cameron wanted to go real ham with it, he could start doing stuff working with, in the Asian markets, LG and Samsung, pushing like an 8K release just for fun, like they did with some of the original 4K stuff 2-3 years before 4K even hit mainstream.
Yep.
Small shit like that. I think it's going to become a cult movie. I bet you merchandise will probably do relatively okay for them as well, especially in the Asian markets.
Yep.
And so I think that now that they've gotten to break even, I think they're going to be fine.
I think they're going to be fine.
It's just that it's going to be a little longer to see that revenue come in.
Yep.
And I think James Cameron knows that. He loves the movie enough anyway.
Yep.
he knows that he can make the
I
next
thought it
one
was
for
great.
cheaper.
I liked it. I liked the movie a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. It definitely is not a perfect movie by any means, but I think the world building is incredible.
Oh, it's great.
I think it looks beautiful. I love the character. I love the world.
It was entertaining, and it left you with just enough questions that you want to see
Exactly.
the answers to those
and
questions.
it had this Avatar effect to it where I loved the world, where
Yes.
I didn't love the world as much as Avatar because Avatar was just like this, holy fuck.
Yeah, it's a totally different thing.
But I loved the story, like the world, not even just the look of the world, but the way it ran, like the everything. If you guys didn't go and see Alita Battle Angel,
Definitely check it
go
out.
check it out. Go support the movie because it needs to make money because we want to see another one.
Yeah, 100%.
Straight up.
100%. Anything else? Oh, you watched a little bit of the Michael Jackson Leaving Neverland. I tried to find it before I watched The Room.
Yeah.
I was trying to
It's on
find a
HBO.
way to watch it. I know, but I didn't want to watch it downstairs because I was lazy in my office. And I tried to log in to HBO Go through my provider.
Yeah.
But it's not available in Canada because HBO hates Canada.
No, we have it upstairs.
No, I mean on the computer. Like if
Oh,
you log
on
on the
the
website,
okay,
HBO
okay.
Go is the
Sorry, I
mobile,
meant on your TV.
which
Yeah.
you can still log in with Bell Alliant, but the HBO Go is still not available in Canada because, again, fuck Canada. So I just ended up watching The Room, which honestly I don't think that I made a bad choice there.
No, you didn't.
So did you see like all of it or just the first episode or what did you check out for that?
I watched all the first episode, and then I watched an hour and 45 minutes of episode 2. Each episode's 2 hours long. I know it's a controversial subject, and it's my belief and my opinion. I went into this documentary with an open mind. I went in already thinking in my heart that Michael is not a pedophile. And I went in there, I watched it, and I left thinking Michael's not a pedophile. Now, the reason why I thought this is a number of reasons. Number one, the guys that are in question, that are talking about their experience, not only is it stories on their behalf, but they've also been under oath, and they've also have said in the past that he has never done anything to them. And now that he's dead, now that R. Kelly's documentary came out and it made millions and millions of dollars, and it's the cool thing to do. And then you've got a guy that wants to make a documentary to get on that, and HBO's buying it, and then Oprah's doing a talk with them, and then Oprah's denouncing Michael, and because Oprah, she got sexually abused. That's her big thing. When she was on the come up, and she talked about that. She's done many episodes about this type. So she's been personal.
And yet she was really close friends with Harvey Weinstein.
Oh yes, I mean it's one of the it's listen. And there's gonna be people out there that are gonna say, you know what, Jeff? No, he's a pedo and blah blah blah. This is what I believe, and this is what I've always believed. And now that I'm watching now that I've watched the documentary, which I think the two guys are full of shit. I don't think they're good actors. I don't think they didn't seem emotionally moved while they were saying these. Telling these stories. I'm not saying that you have to cry and you have to, everybody deals with their grief and their pain in their own way. So anybody can act a certain way, but it just didn't feel authentic. The only parts that felt authentic were the non-sexual parts, where they were talking about the places that they went and the games and things that they played and the things that were truth. Because I think a lot of it feels and sounds real to most people because there's a lot of real in there. It's just sprinkled with a bunch of lies for money. And I truly believe that these guys are trying to get money and that they are getting money off this. I'm sure that there's going to be book deals. I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of other bullshit. The man went through hell and back. Michael, that is, in terms of he's won through the trials. He's done all. He was proven innocent. He went through everything. He's done a lot of great in this world. Doesn't mean he still can't be a monster. And nobody really. That's the thing, is nobody really knows. And I'm not about to be. I'm not about to judge a dead man when he's already been judged. And in this heightened world that we live in right now, of this whole like Me Too movement and it's just hypersensitive. People are looking for the next thing to hate on and the next tabloid. You take a look at that Jesse Smollett dude or whatever the fuck his name is, Smollett or whatever the fuck.
I never looked into that actually,
anyway,
so I don't know what
so
that's about.
where he got beat up by by these MAGA guys, and they poured gasoline or bleach on him and put a noose around his neck and said "Make America Great" or some shit because he's black and gay. But then we find out that allegedly he made up the whole thing, and it was two black dudes that were training him. That was a big setup. You just see how easy, and then everybody jumps on it, right? Everyone's like, "Oh, this is horrible. He's been fucking," and then what's happened with America, and it's the next thing to hate on. And I feel like people are too quick, and you're listening to two opinions of guys that whether they're telling the truth or not. And that's the thing is you never want to just assume somebody's lying about rape or lying about being sexually assaulted or any of those things, because it's a horrible. You gotta take people for their word. You gotta believe that they're not trying to ruin somebody's life or family's name and legacy. But when they've come out and they've said that nothing has happened multiple times, and then all of a sudden here it is, and it's extremely descriptive. We're talking like he's talking about being 7 years old, and we're talking about him getting into extreme details about bending over and showing his butt to Michael while he masturbates and ejaculates and talking to just like some of the details that he's talking about just seems like this almost like a fantasy. Like it's so detailed that it's like it's telling a story, like that it's almost not. And I'm not saying like, listen, if I have never been through something quite like that, so I'm sure that when something like that happens that you don't forget it, but it's the way that it was strung together, and he was almost describing things on how Michael was thinking when he doesn't really know what was going on in Michael's head to further his story, to make it kind of all sound like it all makes sense. And it was a very biased documentary. Obviously, they didn't speak to any of the Jackson family. It was all great photos of the kids, but horrible photos of Michael. There was an agenda here, and it was very clear. The R. Kelly one is they showed both sides to some degree. They had people that believed in R. Kelly. They had people that saw what was going on, that physically saw R. Kelly do these things, knew what was going on, but they had nobody from Michael Jackson's camp, no but ex-employees or people around them that were like, yeah, there's some really fucky shit that went on, and I saw Michael do this. It's just the point of view of these two guys, and just the fact that there's so much money on the line, and just the time that this all happened, and I just couldn't take them serious. And I try not to be biased because I want to believe that, my musical hero and the guy that has done so much in the world would be such a monster. I'm not saying that that's not possible, but coming from these two guys, I just can't believe it. Macaulay Culkin came out, Corey, Feldman or whatever. The two
Boy
dudes,
Meets World or whatever guy.
No, a different guy. These two guys kids that spent the most time with Michael said everything that these guys said in the documentary is true, except for all the sex, except for all this stuff. Michael never had a childhood. He was very kid-like in everything that he did. He held boys' hands and walked everywhere, told everybody he loves them, whether it's a kid, whether it's an adult, made this Neverland, and it only felt normal around kids because adults all wanted him, all were pulling and grabbing, and kids were just, they had this innocence to them. They had this, they didn't judge. They just wanted to have fun, and that was what Michael never had. And I believe that. I want to believe that. Do I agree with everything Michael's done? Absolutely not. The guy is weird. How could you not be weird when you're a fucking superstar since you were like fucking 4 years old, and you've had a family of stars and a father that's basically a Nazi, and you've been in the spotlight for your whole life? How do you not? But at the same time, I don't agree with him sleeping in the same beds with kids. Just a 30-year-old or a 35-year-old has no business sleeping with strangers' kids. The parents have no business letting their kids sleep in a room with Michael Jackson. It's just, there's a lot to it, and then there's a whole bunch of other stories out there where you can see that the parents just want money, and they making up stuff, and they're getting kids to say things because Michael's settling lawsuits because he's getting reamed up the ass from lawsuits and lawyers, and his career is he's being fucking publicly executed, essentially. It's leave Michael alone, man. He's dead. He's dead. Leave him alone. Leave him alone, man. He's paid. He's dead. He's gone. If he was a diddler, good. He's gone. If he wasn't, Jesus, man, come on. That's how I feel about it. But yeah, the stories that they say in it's pretty sick. If it's true, it's very sick. But at the same time, I don't believe personally.
Michael Jackson is such a fucking enigma, and the problem, obviously, the biggest problem that this whole situation presents is the fact that Michael is dead.
Yes.
So, my big problem with this is, regardless of truth or otherwise, is the timing of it. Whether it's true or not, the timing of it is very predatory. And so to have it line up with the R. Kelly thing, to have it be in a time of the greatest knee-jerk reactionary kind of social media world that we're in right now, to be able to just use that all as leverage is very very predatory to me. Ironically using the word predatory, but that's my biggest problem, is that he's not alive anymore. He was already put through the ringer with all this shit when he was alive.
Yeah.
And now to go after a man that was already put through the ringer, throughout his career.
After him then when everybody else was going after him,
and to have and to do it like you're doing it, like you were explaining, where it's very one-sided and whatnot, and really have limited viewpoints on what's going on. It all screams money grab. Again, whether or not it's true,
yeah,
it's a money grab.
Yep.
I'm almost positive. And I think that's extraordinarily disrespectful to anyone that you do that shit if they're already dead, to be going after them like that.
He has family, has kids.
You literally can't defend yourself because you are not of this world anymore.
And you'll never be of this, except for his music will live forever. But it's like they're trying to take down his music. They're trying to just destroy it.
They're doing the usual shit. So that's my surface take on it, because I haven't seen the documentary, is that as far as my take on Michael is nobody will really truly ever know.
Nope.
Because I don't think any one singular individual got exactly the same Michael Jackson as everyone else. And I think it's for a very similar reason to what you just described, where and it certainly is true that many adults, pretty much all the adults in his life, even his other family members, were pulling on him from a business perspective and an entertainment perspective, and not necessarily solely on a personal level. And I'd be shocked if very many people outside of like the women that he spent very specific time with, or especially later in his career, would have seen anything that could have resembled like a wall down Michael Jackson, and that whatever he displayed to the kids was probably the closest thing to a reality that he would have had. And again, it's not like it's undocumented when with child performers of any kind, and it's funny to mention Macaulay Culkin, because you're talking about a child that went through the same thing, but on the big screen, obviously not to the extent that Michael did, but definitely a case study of what can go wrong. I mean, the guy was racked out of his mind on drugs, looked like he was literally going to die for like a decade, didn't do anything, disappeared. He's only now just starting to kind of try and climb back in at like 40-something years old or some shit. Like it's bad, and to have him be involved in that is an interesting parallel to show what can go on, where he wouldn't have had a childhood. Michael really didn't have a childhood. His dad basically took that shit away from him from a very young age.
Yeah.
And he never wasn't able to, or he was never able to really experience childhood of any kind.
Yep.
And I think got permanently frozen there because of it. In some degree,
Yep.
Everyone grows up, even if you get stuck in that situation.
Yeah.
But you're always gonna have those tendencies, and kind of stuck in the back of your mind, and you're going to show childish behavior. Everyone probably knows somebody that has bits and pieces of that if they grew up in like a really broken home and they had to grow up really quick because parents were alcoholics or drug addicts and shit, and so they had to go from 7 years old and being a kid
to 18
to now they're 18,
taking care of their parents,
taking care of their siblings, and then later in life there are tendencies that they will have or lean to, or personality traits and things of that nature. It's not like this is new.
No.
And so to have it to the extreme that Michael Jackson experienced,
couldn't even imagine.
On the world stage, having everyone look in on him and scrutinize every single action that he had, dealing with his own personal issues that he had with himself on top of all of that, is the man was going to be a very broken individual. And it was a miracle that he continued to produce music with such quality and consistency as he did. And to be able to shoulder all of that for as long as he did until he eventually and inevitably killed himself for all intents and purposes. So, so my take on it, I said all of that to preface it. My take on it is, because nobody's ever going to really know, it's really hard for me to set my foot in either camp.
Yeah.
Can I see Michael having done some sexual shit with kids? Absolutely. Because if I'm playing the odds based on what we've seen from other people in his situation, inside and outside of entertainment, and what that produces in people, to have that not have a particularly high chance of happening would be kind of naive for me to think. Does that mean he did? No. And again, I don't know if we're ever going to know, but for me, what I say is that I'm not going to say whether or not he did, because I'll never know. But based on what we know about his life, and we know a lot about it because the man was scrutinized to fucking hell and back. Everyone knows Michael's story now at this point, or as much as you could ever know about it.
Yeah.
All signs point to a high probability chance, which sounds like I'm saying he did. That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, I know.
It just means that there is a reason why somebody could go to HBO and all these places and say all these things.
He's an easy target.
And have somebody
it's
go
believable.
in on it.
It's believable. You
It's
look
kind
at
of-
him.
it's
You
kind
look
of
at
like-
him, and it's like fuck. It's
It's like a guy who went to jail for murder.
Yep.
Murder was self-defense, but you're still labeled a murderer, and then you're trying to reform yourself and going and getting work and doing something, and you like fucking you sneeze in the wrong direction at the workplace, and they look for a reason
to get rid of you.
to get rid of you
I don't
because
feel safe.
you're labeled.
Yeah, I don't feel safe.
You don't feel
He's a murderer, and he
exactly.
gave me that look. He's going to kill me.
It's a similar situation where that stigma's attached, and you're never going to shake it, and people are playing the odds, and so it's easy. He's an easy target.
And I'll put it this way: I'm almost in the same camp as you. I can't say he did because we'll just never know. But what I can say is this: if it was any other two guys but these guys, if Macaulay Culkin came out, if any of these other known children that were with him came out and said this, I'd be all for it. I'd believe it. I'd be like, man, it sucks. I believe it. But just because of the Surviving R. Kelly series that just came up and did so well, and HBO jumping on this shit, and a new one coming up, and two dudes that lied in the past, or maybe told the truth in the past, but now are coming out and maybe saying lies, or maybe they said lies in the past for whatever reason, to protect him, so on and so forth. Which is what they said in the documentary. But either way, if it came from somebody else, I'm not going to call somebody that's saying that they've been raped or that have gone through this a liar. I have to believe.
You just have to have a lot better evidence than hearsay.
Exactly.
Because then it's your word against a dead guy.
Exactly. Or at least have it come from, like, Adam, if you came to me and you said, Jeff, I've been assaulted.
Yeah.
I'd believe you.
Yeah.
I'd immediately believe you, and there'd be no question, because I know you're a good person. I know you wouldn't lie to me about that.
That's different than putting it on a public forum of people who don't know me, though, and
I suppose.
Yeah.
But also, if you have been known to be a liar and you've said these things in the past and nothing's happened,
that changes it.
And then you came and said, "Yo, I've been assaulted," and maybe you're running low on money. Maybe you just noticed that somebody in the news said they were assaulted and got some big settlement from some guy, and now you're like, I'd be like, really, I'd probably listen to what you're having to say, but I'd be skeptical.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be like,
motive is always a an important, obviously a very important aspect to any of this shit.
Yeah, it's and of course I get a little clouded because Michael is such a
major part
an icon,
of your life,
right?
yeah.
Right, and a lot of people, right? So you don't want to believe it, but I feel like if it came from other people, I'd be more on board. But I don't throw shade at anybody. I can't blame anybody that believes these people and believes that Michael's a pedo. It's not something that I would argue with them. I'd try and do exactly what I did here and present why I don't believe that these guys were telling the truth.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean somebody else can't come out and do it. But I can see why some people would believe it too. And from what Michael's done, what you said, there is a good chance that something happened. And that's all it takes. He might not have to literally rape somebody physically, or even penetrate a boy, so to speak. He might have touched a boy's privates. He might have showed himself naked in front of a boy. It's all equally horrible. And if he and any of that, he's a horrible person. If he did any of those things, it doesn't matter. You could go from a 2 to a 10. It's all a 10. Period. I mean, it just gets more and more sick. So, do I believe that it's possible that he may have done something? Sure. I think that it's possible, but I can't take these too serious. And the documentary is just clear. It's a clear money grab. It wasn't for me.
From the not Michael side, the other thing that always disturbed me about this whole thing is the stupidity of the parents. That it all and that's why it always seemed like a setup to me, even back in like the 90s and shit when the shit was going down and whatever, was why in the fuck are you letting some random person, even though they're a celebrity on the world stage, it doesn't make a difference. Mm-hmm. It's not like you've grown up with this person your entire life and they're a family friend, and even if it was a family friend, mm-hmm. Like if I just came over by myself and be like, hey, Jeff, can I just, take Kai for a couple days, just hang out and play some games?
No.
No, because that's fucking weird.
Yes. The answer is no.
So, like, why in the fuck would people just be like, yeah, Michael, go have my kids, you can parade them around your fucking theme park on your friggin' compound and just, like, watch movies and eat candy and, like, laugh it up like you're a fucking kid. That's fine. That's normal. No!
Yeah. No,
motherfucker.
Yep. And there was some weird shit too. Like there was one part of the documentary, which was part 2, where one of the families had gotten a loan from Michael to buy a house, and they had got the house. They were paying it off, and when Michael was on trial for the allegations before, and these kids or this family testified, talking about their experience with Michael and how he's never done anything. The kid was saying, he's never touched me. He's never, nothing like that. After it was done, after the case, everything was settled, basically Michael said, don't worry about that loan. So then you go, well, did Michael just pay these people off, right? Did Michael just basically know? Like, was he appreciative that they stood up for him and went out of their way and took all this public heat and so on and so forth? Or did Michael pay him off? Was this the thing?
And even if he paid him off, and here's the other thing that you don't want to think about, is for Michael, in that situation, whether or not something happened, is that you've got two options: you either drag the shit out in court forever and ever and ever, which is a terrible look, or you pay them off, and there seems to be some pretty like upfront heat on the fact that you paid people off, because then they think that you did do something, but then it goes away faster and it's out of people's minds faster.
Yep.
And so even if he didn't do it, it might have been his camp's strategy to just say, get this out of here as fast as possible and just be done with it.
100%.
Even though nothing's happened, just be like, look, if you just want some money,
here, take
if that's what you're really here for,
fuck off.
Take it and shut the fuck up, because they have to sign something that says, I ain't going to open my mouth anymore.
There's no, if you ever do it, you're going to lose the money and go to prison.
Exactly. So, like, there could have been...
And he'd paid one family off like $23 million.
Yeah.
Like an insane amount. But then you look at it at face value and you go, there's a lot of sketchy shit that was going on during the trials and stuff. Almost like not as sketchy as the R. Kelly stuff, where R. Kelly definitely paid off this girl to say that was not her in the video.
For God's sake, it's
he
him
was
in
in
the
the fucking video.
Yeah, like
that. That's
if there's a video of Michael Jackson.
then Michael,
this
you're
conversation.
the conversation's like, Michael, shut the fuck. You're already shut the fuck up because you're dead. But you're a fucking pedo, and it's over. It's over, bud.
R. Kelly literally filmed himself multiple times, fucking and pissing on girls.
Women. Yes, or girls.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is definitely some things that went on. But I truly believe that when he settled one, all the families are like, oh, my son was over there. I'm gonna sue too. You slept in the same room as my son. Something went on, right? And there was money that he's just paying people off, and
it's just nuts.
But yeah, the one part in the documentary that I was like, I don't like that too much was when he told him, don't worry about the loan. The house is yours.
Yeah, because it makes him look bad.
Yeah,
like it makes him look like there was more to it than. But also knowing Michael's personality,
I know
he just had a habit of just doing things for people anyway.
Yep.
So like it's just like. It's so hard.
Yep.
So hard to tell. Mr. Max is Black.
Yes, sir.
Hit me up with the sound of tech support.
Tech support.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've gotten to the point of the show where we answer questions from the patrons.
Yo.
Patreon.com/lagtv. You can head on over there. And at the $10 tier and higher, you get to ask questions on a post that we put up before the podcast each and every week and have a chance to have your questions answered.
Mm-hmm.
So you can head on
we
over
are,
and get
we
involved
are
on that.
officially 3 Patreons away from 300 Patreons.
Let's
so,
go.
If you guys are watching this live right now and you're going, you know what? These guys are worth $1.
Critical Role is breaking Patreon records right now.
What are they at?
I don't know. I can't remember what they're at, but they're at a point where they're making a fucking animated series about their shit now. That's how much money is coming in. I mean, they were already making, like on Twitch, they were already making shitloads of money. They had like 40,000 subs or something like that. But now they're like blowing it up on Twitch, on Patreon, and they should, because
They're
by
amazing.
the way,
they're amazing.
Critical Role might be like outside of a singular person as far as like an actual program, because it's more of what it actually
It's a show.
is.
It's a show. It's a literal like
it's an actual
great
like
TV show.
It's produced like a TV show.
Yes.
It's fire.
Yes, it is good.
It's fucking fire.
They deserve
it. They deserve it. So shout outs to Critical Role for being
we deserve
legends.
300 Patrons.
I think we can at least do
Patreons, but hey,
30,000 steep.
Just
3,000 is probably still steep. 300?
300 we could do. There's a literal dollar menu on that Patreon.
There is.
For $1.
Make it happen. Make it happen. What do we got here for questions? Let's see. Robbie asks, is there any chance in hell that Adam will get his motorbike license, and will Jeff sell his bike now that Kai is here? So I'll answer the first part of that question. No. For a number of reasons. One, I am all legs, and the size of the bike that I would need to get in order to be able to fucking like
You'd have
ride
to get
that
one of those
thing,
big choppers that you can like fucking
like legs out.
Yeah.
It'd never be able to be a super bike.
No, fuck no.
It would have to be a huge super bike.
It wouldn't be a crotch rocket.
It would be a crotch rocket that would kill me.
Yeah.
It'd be a crotch rocket that you would only drive.
You'd have to get one of those big like BMW crotch rocket ones.
Just
that are
monsters.
Like old man fucking big BMW. But you'd have to get a chopper, man. Add him with the fucking leather on and the fucking helmet and the
assless chaps.
Yeah. And as for me, I actually canceled my insurance yesterday, believe it or not. And I'm going to sell my bike this spring.
There you go.
I only have 1,200 kilometers on my bike. It is quite literally brand new. It hasn't even been broken in.
I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm not going to be the buyer.
That's okay. Oh, it'll sell. And the reason why is 2 reasons. Number 1 is I rode my bike twice last summer. I got my car and I just want to be in that. Opposed to the bike. And then secondly is I'm a dad now, and bikes are literal death machines. They are widowmakers. And the last thing I want to do is, either seriously injure myself or kill myself on a bike.
And it's usually not the bike's fault. It's everyone else.
It's everyone
on the road.
else's. The fastest I've ever gone on the bike was 180 kilometers, which is pretty fucking fast.
There's some speed.
Yes. But that was the
that's
fastest.
Like, what, 130 miles an hour?
Yeah, that's the fastest I've ever gone on the bike. And it was basically getting there and stopping. It was a long straightaway. There was no other cars, anything like that. Most of the time for big speed that I go on my bike is about 130.
Yeah.
Because I get nervous that someone's going to swerve in front of me. A deer's going to come out in the middle of the road. Something's going to happen. And
you hit a small rock.
That's it. I mean, you hit a fucking pothole in our shitty roads. You're dead.
Yeah.
Or you're fucked up bad. So, yeah, I'm going to get rid of it. And, yeah, I'm going to use the money to put away college, Kai's college fund. Just going to throw it in there and let it sit for 18 years.
Done.
And that's it.
Easy.
Because I'll probably get like $6,500, $7,000 for the bike.
There you go. Easy money. And you're going to live.
I'll live.
It's better. It's thumbs up.
That's the main
all
thing.
around. Shady asks, as a man, have you ever been sexually harassed in real life or online? For example, being touched inappropriately, being sent inappropriate messages or pictures from people that just didn't know when to quit.
No.
I have.
You have.
I have. In university. I've probably said it on the podcast before. There was a chick in 3 of my classes.
Oh, I think you did mention this before.
Oh, and this was like over the course of university, because when you're in a business or like any kind of degree, you tend to like have a good chance of being in class with people multiple times, right? Multiple times.
I do remember.
She knew I was with Natalie.
Yep, you had a woman.
Didn't give a fuck.
She was thirsty.
She'd constantly find a way to manage to sit next to me in class and
Chris
shit.
Redfield.
And straight up, well, I was Chris Redfield back then. Shaved head and everything. I should go. Chris Redfield doesn't have shaved head. He had the marvelous hair, but I was buzzing my hair.
He had the
back
Captain
then.
America hair.
But I was jacked out of my mind. She was thirst trained over 9,000. I'd be just sitting in finance. I remember this finance 1, and there was another one that was 7.
Hey, in college,
The biggest turnoffs.
I've gone through quite a few 7s.
She had 3 major turnoffs for me. 1, she was a smoker.
So she's a 4.
She fucked up bad there. Number 2 was nail biter.
No, that's whatever.
Just bothered me because her fingers look jacked up. And 3 was she has like the one hairstyle that girls do that started in like the early 2000s, late 90s, that fucking drives me wild. It's like a tight little like wave with hair mousse. And that is the biggest fucking hair turn off for me. You could be bald. And I would rather you be bald than use a heavy amount of mousse in your fucking hair.
I've been with one bald.
Shit's fucking bad.
I've been with one bald.
She black?
No, she was white.
Really?
She was a stripper.
Really? Oh, so she was using wigs all the time then.
Yeah, she had
As a
a
stripper.
weave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so she'd find a way to get next to me, and she had a habit of literally just grabbing my dick and balls mid-lecture. And that shit was fucking weird.
That's aggressive.
Now, at no
Do you
point
consider that assault, though? Like, as a
Yes.
dude? Yeah?
Yes, if I'm just sitting in class in university, I'm paying money to go there to learn some shit. I have a girlfriend of like 5 years at the time.
Okay.
And you're gonna start grabbing my dick and balls in chat.
Okay,
and start,
Under normal context, absolutely, that is assault. But as a dude, I'm asking you as a dude.
Yeah.
Do you? Is it? You,
I mean,
it's like the thing where you can't rape the willing, right? Where you're like, if
I didn't want her grabbing my shit in class.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying, but if because
I
there's some
afraid?
dude. Listen, as a guy, sometimes if a girl's like, "Damn, son, let me get some of that dick," and like grabs a cock, I wouldn't be like, I'd be like, whoa, jeez, Louise. I wouldn't be like moved by it where I can't sleep at night or I gotta like fucking call the police. It's like I'm a dude. That's just the way I process it.
So okay, there are limits because as a dude, especially back then, I'm 6'6", I'm 210 pounds, I'm jacked out of my fucking mind. At no point, obviously, did I feel physically at a disadvantage, right? That like I was fearing for my right? She wasn't about to come up behind me and pistol whip me and have her way. Like, it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it was still I didn't want it to happen.
Yes,
I'm there to, I just paid.
I want to learn, woman. I don't want you touching my dick.
I just paid like $8,000 to have my ass sit in this chair to listen to somebody from a third world country try and speak English for me to understand finance.
Adam's getting so much pussy that when girls are grabbing his junk at school, it's bad for him. He's fuck! Stop touching my dick, woman!
You do it once, and you're like, okay. The first time I was like, the first time she did it, I kind of laughed it off. I was like, all right. And I told her, I was like, look, appreciate it.
I'm taken.
It's a compliment.
Yes.
I get it. But I'm with somebody right now. I ain't about that life.
Now imagine if you did that to a girl.
Well,
where
it'd be
you
game
just
over.
grab the box.
That's bad times.
Or like, you just went, she's like standing there, you just grab the cooch from behind.
Yeah, that's called going to jail.
Yes, but when a girl does it, right, it's different because a guy that's what I was talking about. Like, is it really assault? Because at the first thing you're like, fuck, you're thrown off guard, but you're like, in a way you kind of enjoy it. Like, it's like at a small part because you're flattered. You're like, damn, a girl's not only this cool, like she's coming up and doing this, but there's a chick that that's a 7 that's kind of into it.
Let's put this into context.
But after a while, it would be like, dude,
if I didn't have a girlfriend,
yes,
right, and I'm not in a fucking classroom at the time or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a bar or I'm like at a club or some shit and we're dancing and she just grabs my shit. Obviously a different contextual situation that even for a guy to do it, it would be a bit sketchy. Like if you're just grinding, dancing in a club and you just grab some box, that's still a bit fucking forward.
Yeah, you don't do that.
You don't do that shit.
Yeah,
you grab some ass.
You get in some trouble.
But you doing some other, you're getting in some shit. You grab a titty, you're in some shit. Girl grabs your dick at a club, you're dancing, guys don't really give a fuck. But if you're in a classroom and you've already told this girl now after she did it the first time that you're with somebody and you're not interested, and that shit happens for the next 2 years,
yeah, that's a problem.
I get up. The worst example of it was.
And what happens if she was at 10?
I was getting
non-smoker, fucking goddamn smoke
it's
show.
It's still assault. Like,
but are you that upset?
Well, I tell her not to do it, but internally I'm going, "That's a great compliment, right? This 10 wants me."
That's not assault.
But that's
you're liking it. You can't rape the willing.
Well, that's still debatable.
It's an annoyance. It's like, damn it.
It's like,
because if she was a fucking 10 out of 10 bomb show.
But that's the same for women. Is that they're gonna that there's a grade.
I don't know.
Not for rape, obviously, but in terms of like them of like a man telling them they're looking sexy or some shit. If the dude's ugly, that's all of a sudden that's assault.
Oh yes.
If the dude is a fucking smoke show,
I don't know.
Then it's
maybe. Maybe.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not a maybe. I've watched that shit happen my whole life, all in university.
Maybe.
You see a dude just fucking swing and a miss because he's like a 4.
Yeah.
And then you'd see a dude who's literally a fucking god, just jacked out of his mind, real attractive dude, good grades, the whole 9 yards. He's got a successful life ahead of him. He says some shit. It's just a giggle and like, right?
Come check
it's
out my
different.
Twitch
That's
channel.
how it works, right? So, that's kind of just life. But she kept doing it, and one day specifically, we were in a class that we didn't have any choice. We got paired with like there was 2 other people other than us in this group, and I was getting up to present. And on the way up, she literally, I don't even have an ass, so I don't know what she was going for, but like she just full fucking like. It's like if an athletic butt slap turned into a straight up grope is basically what that was. I was just like, what? And I was standing up and the prof saw it. Because we're in a room that's only about twice the size of this room. And he stops the class and goes, "You guys need a room?" And I was like, oh.
Thank
and
God
that's when I really sat down after that. I went, all right. Now you really need to fuck off.
Yeah, now you can't.
You can't be doing that shit because now you're making me look like a fucking fool in front of like
the class and the teacher.
This is bad.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do
this
that.
Is fucking bad.
You don't want to do that. Yeah, no, I haven't had the fortunate groping of another woman in class.
That was the only one I ever had.
Yeah,
is that one?
Yeah, I've never.
Everyone else was very much. They knew I had a girlfriend. Arm's distance. They might have been flirty, but they weren't like grabbing my fucking dick in class. It's on some shit.
Chris Redfield.
That's fucking weird.
When you're Chris Redfield, that's what happens. It just happens, bro.
Just happened.
Gotta work on those Maximus gluteus, though.
Dude, I've never had an ass. Squats for days. Didn't matter.
See?
Genetics to get you.
I'm black. I have an ass.
It's true.
It's just the way she goes.
It's not fair. I got mums instead of dads. I had dads, it'd be fine. But I got to wear a belt because otherwise pants fall off. Because there's no ass to
hold it up.
It's just a sheer cliff. It's just fucking cliff. It's like an iceberg breaks off and it's just a sheer cliff. That's my ass.
Fuck.
Just bad. Nothing.
Goodness.
Let's see. What are the odds of a 30-minute normal game being casted? This comes in from Captain Jan Egern. The odds are about 1%.
Yes.
Because it has to be so legendary.
Yes. I'm gonna be honest. When I see a 30-minute game,
almost never look at it.
I almost never do, unless I'm desperate. And if I do look at it, I look at like the first 3 or 4 minutes, and I can tell that if it's good or if it's bad. You know what I've become? I've basically become, now that I'm doing a lot of voiceover stuff. Oh, which, by the way, I didn't think I told you this.
Did you land another big one?
Oh, well, I mean, it's not small. It's okay. I got a voiceover gig.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
It's coming up.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the script now.
Okay.
I'm in a video game. I'm playing.
Mobile video game?
No.
Oh.
And I'm not allowed to say what it is yet.
Oh.
It's a fairly big company.
Okay.
It's a first person.
Okay.
Military.
All right.
Multiplayer game.
Are you urban?
They will be at PAX.
Oh.
Okay. And I'm playing a they call it a grunt slash like almost like your standard military guy that's
Okay.
you know that basically what I'm getting from the script is I'm going to be either one of the characters that you can play, like a type of character that you can play that says a lot of different one-liners and things like that, or I'm playing a character in a campaign
Right,
where
it's just not a player character.
that I'm not a player character, but it's a fair amount of words. So there's a lot there.
Let's go.
Yeah. And
Let's go.
and their last game that they came out, because I looked their last game that came out is like a 94% on Steam. It's
Ooh.
extremely high rated, and it's played a decent amount.
Let's go.
It will be on Twitch.
The future.
It will be on Twitch.
The future.
I'm gonna be
you
in,
play yourself playing yourself.
I'm going to be in that game.
Let's fucking go.
I'm a soldier in a video game.
Let's go.
I'm going to be.
Let's see.
Oh, but what? Like I was saying.
Yes.
What
Yes.
what it's come to when it comes to StarCraft.
Yes.
The cast.
Yes.
Now that I'm auditioning a lot,
Yes.
and I'm reading up a lot on how agencies are looking at stuff. Basically, I've become an agent, and I'm listening to auditions.
Yes.
And you just know in the first
the first 3 seconds.
I could literally just watch the first 2 minutes of a
And
game
know how it's gonna
and just
go.
know how she's gonna go. And it's just like
Well,
you either
to
got
be
me
fair,
or you
we've
don't
been
got
like
me.
that for a while because we've watched multiple thousands.
So much StarCraft I've seen.
I mean, we've done like over 1,200 videos that you guys have seen.
So much.
Imagine how many games we've watched to get to the production stage for over like 1,000 games of StarCraft.
You know what the ultimate dream would be? The ultimate dream would be is if two things happened. One, a StarCraft 3 came out, and it was a better version of Legacy of the Void. It had a fourth race, and it was a new esport thing that obviously we'd jump on. Or there was another game that we could cast that was similar to StarCraft in terms of like length, the replays, the fact that most of the regular people don't have shine, you know, like your everyday player where we can make fun of what they're doing and shit. But that time of game is done, and the only other one that we could have ever really have done would have been something like a MOBA, like League or something. But those games are too long.
They're way too long. There's too much downtime.
There's too much downtime.
Yeah.
It's not as it's just that would be the dream, but we're not in that era anymore.
No,
sadly.
I mean, it's not even an era that it makes sense to do financially.
No.
It's
Podcast
just not there. Podcast is though.
Oh, by the way, we have officially hit 300 patrons.
Let's fucking go.
Thank you so much, guys.
Bless.
They
Hey,
hit that
Jeff.
dollar menu. So
Some people will consider you black, which means you are capable of many sports, genetically.
Mm-hmm.
Which Olympic sport would you have been most likely to compete in if you worked hard for it in your youth? Comes in from Duke.
And that was specifically asked to me.
No,
black?
I was just making that as a segue.
Okay, I was gonna say, damn you, Luke, you're so racist.
No, that's just me being racist.
Okay, all right. Fuck you. And all right, Luke. Well, when I was in track and field, I did 1,500 meter. I did hurdles, and I did high jump. And I would say the one that I was probably best at was long distance running. So I would say if I were to go to Olympics, I'd probably do long distance running because it was one of those things that for some reason I never got really tired, but I never ran super fast either. So I had like this.
You had your pace.
I had the pace, right? So
Yeah.
like I could probably go twice that amount. But also, I never really pushed myself. Like, I never I was just.
There's not that many people doing track and field in high school that, like, I mean, there are some that do it because they're really, that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
But the vast majority are just doing it because it's an activity.
That was
do,
it. I only did it in grade
so.
10. I did it in junior high. So I did it grade 9, and then I did it in grade 10. But those were the 3 ones I did. I remember the last day at track, I was doing hurdles, and I didn't stretch or nothing. And I remember this. We got there late. Our school bus that picked us all up, we got there late, and my track meet or my track run was 10 minutes after the bus arrived. Like, we were super late. There was something wrong with the first bus. They had to get a new one in, and we thought we were.
So you had no warm up.
I had
you had
nothing.
No stretch.
So I had 2 options. I could either go down there and stretch for 10 minutes beforehand, or I could eat, because I didn't eat anything yet in the day, because we were planning to have a bunch of time, and all my bags and stuff were under the school bus, like underneath. And I remember I decided to take food. So I sat on this little tiny
bold move,
on this little tiny hill, and everybody else is down there stretching and warming up. And I'm sitting there eating a pizza sub, not from Subway, but it was one of those. Remember those old school ones from like Uncle Buck's, where you used to it was in plastic, and you used to have to open the top, and it was cold. It was like a cold pizza sub. So I remember eating that, and I had little sippies. It was right after Halloween time. It was like right around there.
You had your bunch of sippies.
I had a bunch of sippies and shit, and so I had my sippies. I ate all the food because I was starving. I had no energy. I'm like, fuck, I need to eat. So then I go down. They're literally getting ready. I'm take off my hoodie. I go down there. I set up. They're like, on your mark, get set, go. They shoot the fake gun thingy. I start running, and I think it was only 100-meter hurdle. Like, it wasn't a long thing.
Just blew a tire.
So I'm running. I make it over the first 2 hurdles, and I'm not even doing that bad. I'm probably in like 3rd or 4th out of 6. You know, I'm like in the middle of the pack, and then I get to the next hurdle. And my fucking left leg cramped the fuck. Like, my whole hamstring just went, and I go for the jump, and I just, my one side just wouldn't jump. One side did. I'm like, hey! And I hit it, smashed the hurdle right down on my face. Salty, scraped, and the turf that they had there was like fucking.
Fucks you up.
Oh, it was fucking terrible.
The burns are bad.
Oh, dude, it was like this.
It's worse than a carpet burn.
Oh, it was terrible, bro. My whole fucking arm was all fucked up. And it was embarrassing as fuck because, like, a ref came, like, running over and, like, picked me up, and my foot was still, like, dangling in the hurdle. And then that was it. And then I'm sitting there, and then I tried to, I was that guy, you know.
Trying to play it off?
Well, no, I didn't even play it off. What I did is I finished the race. Right? So I got up, right? And I'm embarrassed. I don't know what to do. And then people were clapping, right? And people were concerned. And I get up, and I start hopping. And
Terry Fox,
basically, and I'm sitting there running like I'm in the Olympics, and somebody takes a bad fall, and everyone's like, "Oh no,
the race.
I gotta finish." And I'm and I'm sitting there limping and fucked up, and I finished the race. There's only like one more hurdle over there, and I managed to like slow hop over it, and then I finished, and I got a little clap, and that was it for me. I didn't get to compete in anything else the rest of the day. That was the show, and then I had to sit there for 3 hours and wait for everybody else to do the thing, and then I went home salty as fuck, and I never did track again. That's it.
I was never really heavily involved in track because I was playing basketball. So my choices were, commit to track or commit to basketball. Obviously, I went basketball. All my friends were playing basketball, whatever. So, but what would I have done? It's not even a question. I'd be a 100-meter sprinter. It's not even a fucking question. I'm literally built like Usain Bolt. I'm 6'6", and I'm all legs. And I've got light boned. I'm lean, but will pack on muscle where I need to pack it on.
Except that ass.
But if I'm sprinting all the time, I'd guarantee
you get some muscle. Yeah.
So that would 100%. It was not even a question.
Makes sense.
Like my legs are so long. I was out like in basketball. I would outrun guards and point guards and shit. They were smaller and they were supposed to be faster.
You'd outwalk them.
I'd outwalk them because my one stride, I'm like fucking
half the court.
Like half the court. Like, it doesn't take me anything to get up the court. So, 100%, it'd be 100-meter sprint. I never had a lot of endurance, even when I was in the gym trying to build endurance. Like, I'd run 2 miles before my workout, and then I'd run 2 more miles after my workout. And, like, that was, like, my limit. I could never seem to, like, it was almost like push-ups. You know, everyone has a number. of push-ups. No matter how hard you try, it's really hard to get higher and higher up. Like you plateau really hard. That was me with running. Is I could get faster, but as far as like how long I could run,
Couldn't do
as
it.
soon as I hit the 2 mile mark, I'd gas.
Yeah, I'm done.
Like every time.
Yeah.
So probably sprinting, just because I'd be built for it, without question. That'd be about the only one probably that I could do. It was the only one I was built for. Let's see. Last one coming in from Stuka, related to something we were just talking about, Critical Role. So we can just give one more quick round of thoughts because we now have like a number apparently here now. So he says, what do you guys think of Critical Role funding their Kickstarter for an animated series in 1 hour? So this is what this is for, actually, I guess. I thought that they were just adding Patreon as a thing on top of the Twitch series, but apparently they were trying to fund the animated series with Patreon. And they funded it in an hour. And now it's gone on, as of when he posted this 46 minutes ago, 6.1 million.
Come again?
6.1 million.
In an hour?
No, 3 days.
Oh, man. Even still.
72 hours, 6.1 mil.
What kind of animation they trying to make Battle Alita?
Apparently.
Can you just slow
6.1 million.
Just slow up the fun bus for a second.
6.1 million. Of course, like half the people doing the Critical Role are voice actors. So they just take Critical Role, they're already voice actors, they fund the animation, make 6.1 million.
They're making so much goddamn money. It's actually, they don't even know what to do with it anymore. I thought maybe
I'm going to have to watch this animation.
I'm going to have to, I thought maybe $500,000.
No.
$1 million.
I was thinking around 750K because Patreon, nobody, I want to know what the second Patreon is, because this isn't just breaking records. This is like crushing everything else on Patreon.
So what is
In
the animation
fact,
going to be? Is it going to be them doing their?
I don't know, but that seems to make sense, right? It would be them possibly doing their own characters from within
through an animated show.
series, something like that, right? Maybe they draw inspiration from how the games themselves play out, and then they animate it, which would also be fire. I'm sure people being down for that. Maybe they just hire writers and do offshoots within the universe that they have, and then still do Critical Role.
Well, with $6.1 million,
do whatever the fuck they want to do.
You can quite literally hire some really fucking good animators and just do whatever you want. That's 3 days.
Oh, it's Kickstarter, not Patreon. Sorry, Kickstarter.
Okay.
My apologies. So I fucked that up. It's Kickstarter.
Either way,
it's $6.1 million.
million.
Holy shit. Do they have a Patreon?
I thought they did.
I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't.
Oh, listen, they're pulling. I don't even know how much money they'd be pulling in a month, but it's ungodly.
So before the 12-hour mark, they had 3.5 mil.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Oh, it's the first campaign animated into a show. There you go. So it's the first campaign they ever did animated into a show. That's fire.
Yeah, I mean,
they're out there killing it right now.
I'll watch it. I'll check it out.
I'll fucking watch that shit.
I'll check it out for sure.
Dude, Critical Role has some
They
diehard
deserve it,
fans.
man. They're fucking great.
Crushing
They're
it.
fucking great.
How do you do better than that?
They make great content. Dude.
Exactly.
That's it. They get
make
rewarded for
fire-
They just get rewarded for it.
Fire content.
Yep.
So let's go. Let's fucking go. So that's the show. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for us here at Technical Alpha. For this week, head on over patreon.com/lagtv. Join in the community. We'd love to have you be able to, ask us questions, get involved for StarCraft. If you have games to send in, all of the instructions on how to do that is right there on the Patreon page. We'd love to have you. Thank you so much for those of you here on YouTube. Come to check us out. Definitely did very well for our test run today, given we didn't tell anyone that we were going to do this. We literally just decided
probably a group
half
of
an hour
people that are
before.
sitting on the Twitch channel right now going, when are they going to go live?
Exactly.
It's already been done.
It's already been done.
And also, what's great about this is at any time now, you guys can go back and watch the podcast. It's automatically uploaded, so there's no waiting
There's
a day.
no waiting
or,
time. I don't have
or,
to like fill stuff in necessarily anymore. We'll be able to. Well, I don't know if you put all the hashtags and stuff in. We'll probably have to update those.
You'll have to update the hashtags, but all the links are in the description. Below, and that's pretty much the show. We'll see you guys again next week.
Yep.
There was one thing that I wanted to add, but now it's totally gone. We're going to go see Captain Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have that to talk about next week as well.
That's it.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening. And until we see you next time, peace.